There is unrest in the Galactic Book Club. Several thousand solar systems have declared their intention to write books for babies. Supreme Slave Lord Trioculus has unleashed his most devious weapon yet, a book where nothing happens. Mon Mothma, along with her ward, Chip the boy-shaped droid, have dispatched Astrogoblin to solve this narrative crisis. This is Galactic Book Club.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I've got a bad feeling about this. I've got a bad
Feeling about this.
bad feeling about this.
Book sucks.
It's real bad.
I don't know if it's a book so much as like
In accounting?
Yeah, it's like the first few pages in a book, but it's a whole book.
And this is a book.
It's longer than the last one.
It's longer than the last one.
Where things happen.
It's crazy.
it's the lost city of the Jedi, in that I felt truly lost because it felt like being in a waiting room for 2 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where you're kind of watching characters pass you as they go to and from appointments, but your name never gets called. And then after a while, someone goes, "You can go home now."
Yeah.
It's a book I remember fondly.
Really?
Lost City of the Jedi. I'm like, that's a cool place. Ken, that's me.
Chip, the boy-shaped droid?
Yeah. DJ?
Chip
the
was me.
homework robot?
I saw myself in Chip as a kid. Yeah, the homework robot.
The
Well, you
homework
are
robot.
silver, the color of the Jedi.
Right, yeah.
And also the coolest color ever.
If you do not have these books, you can go to our Patreon, where $5 members get access to dramatic readings of all 6 books by us, the
Yep.
Goblins.
Yeah.
You can hear the entire stories from our lips.
I feel like
To
after
follow along.
this one, or the first one we record, we're really going to be thinking to ourselves, why did we agree to this? This is crazy.
Oh, it's gonna be
This is
fun.
crazy. To have to read a book twice and every week?
Yep.
It's insane. Why did we agree to that? We didn't have to do that.
Well,
hey,
we do it all for the fans.
Yeah.
I agree.
They're
I agree.
short as
I don't-
hell.
It's a great idea.
It's a great idea. We're committed.
And just think of me
Right.
as your homework robot who's pressing
That
you
is
to
what
continue.
I think of you as.
See,
Jacob, you have hardcover copies of this.
retrieved my
Your copies.
Much like Jason Takes Manhattan, almost none of this book takes place in the Lost City of the Jedi.
no.
Yeah.
It's
very,
just like
very little.
the jungle of Yavin 4,
What's the name of the tube?
the tubular transport, which I think is
That'd
said
be
like
it.
16 times
And I
throughout the
still
book.
didn't have a good handle on
Nope.
on how it worked.
No.
Like, was it a platform? Was it a Futurama type
I don't
tube?
know. I don't know.
It seems to only go vertically. Like
just an
an
elevator.
Yeah,
It's an elevator,
It's
yeah.
a fast elevator.
But it's in the shape of a tube, which is apparently really important.
yes,
That
and you
it's
have
in
to
the
have
shape
a
of
special
tube.
tube key, which
Yeah.
we'll get into that. Let
Yeah.
me first read the synopsis.
Yes,
of the
go
book.
for it.
Trioculus, a 3-eyed mutant, has arisen as the self-appointed leader of the Empire. Now, that's the first half of the synopsis, and it's also something from the last book.
Yeah.
The hopes of the Rebel Alliance rest on a young Jedi Prince growing up in an underground city beneath the rainforests of the 4th moon of Yavin.
Yep.
That was what the preview was on Google Books.
Oh.
Cool.
I mean, I guess that does tell you literally everything you need to know that happens in this book.
It's not like dramatic or anything.
Nope.
It's just like, this is what the book's about. Because, like, what's the back of the... I have
Also,
the back
I
of
mean,
I
the
think
book
we would be
somewhere.
better suited to make an hour-plus long podcast off the back of a cereal box.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Off a word search that the Honeycombs monster wants you to do.
The first book is terrible.
It's bad.
The Glove of Darth Vader.
But this is like, oh my God.
It's a
like,
bottle episode.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
nothing happened. It's, yeah.
And it's packed
exactly.
with characters, though.
It's one of those episodes where you start it and you're like, ah. It's gonna be one of those ones where where none of the characters are in it until maybe like at the very end they show up or something.
We actually do get
Which sometimes are good,
a
but
little bit of Princess Leia in this one.
Yeah.
And Han.
And more
And
Han.
little
And,
Han.
and Chewie. So it
Yeah.
starts on... Does it start on Bespin?
Yes, I was actually gonna
Well,
pull up the
Or no, he's building his house.
Bespin's a gas giant, so you can't start on a
Well, in
gas
Cloud
around
City.
Bespin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Actually, before we get into it, I have a
surface.
Patrick, Paul, and Hollis, the three main people I have to worry about.
Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Yeah,
I've got
it's just
our
like that.
I've got our characters. Here.
You do.
We got to go through the illustrations of the characters because there's always new ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's see. We got Luke Skywalker,
Yep, I
Princess
remember him.
Leia, Han Solo, HC 100, the homework
Yeah,
correction.
can I
droid.
Oh, that's
see HC 100?
He's actually pretty cool.
Oh, he's
looking.
just a different look. He's a sex robot version of 3PO.
Yeah, he's got a hole for a
got a hole
presumably
for
a.
I think it's
a
something
member.
like a
Yeah.
mouth that looks like always surprised. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, so
for
okay,
seconds,
got it. Yeah.
Ken
for
when-
lonely Jedi.
For when Ken's too old to be doing homework.
yeah.
Yeah, even and homework robot breaks into his dome house and like steals things that aren't even finished and grades
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
He's like
really
the
weird.
mules in Death Stranding. He's got an
Yeah.
addiction to
Yeah.
grading papers.
Then we got Ken. We're gonna learn about more. We
Yep.
got Chip, the boy-shaped droid.
Yeah, so can we talk about sort of where the path diverges in terms of drawings of Star Wars characters? 'Cause,
Yeah.
so
Chip-
far we
yeah.
have characters from the films, which don't even look quite right. Leia looks a little. They all look weird, but and then you have one that looks like 3PO, and then you get to Chip, which looks like the dumbest fucking
It's like a 1950s
retro future,
Yeah.
Jetsons ass boy shaped
Yeah,
robot. Which
yeah.
we keep saying boy shaped because the authors
Yeah.
say boy
We
shaped.
don't
boy-shaped,
decide
yeah.
this.
Boy shaped, not the size of a boy.
Even Ken looks like an 80s Star Wars
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
we got
and that's fine. That's
Yeah.
the aesthetic, but you know.
then we got DJ 88, who I thought was the coolest.
He's the one with the beard, right?
Yeah, he's the
Can I
one with the
see him?
metal beard. Look, he's hot.
Wait, which
That's what he looks like?
That's DJ.
Which one is DJ?
He's the one that's like, Ken, get back in the tubular transport.
He's
I
introduced
got
like he's a
con-
villain.
I got
Yeah.
confused with who all the droids were, to be honest.
Homework bot, Chip the boy-shaped robot, and DJ the bearded robot.
There's three.
I thought Homework and DJ were the same robot.
I
No,
thought
no,
that
no,
too
no,
at
no.
points.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
it's also like the authors are still doing the like phonetic thing,
Yeah.
which like
Yeah.
I'm used to it. It's like whatever. But DJ is spelled out
D-E-E-J-A-Y.
It's
Yeah.
like, come on, those are letters.
and Chip is
y'all.
short for microchip.
Hollis? What's
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Chip is short for
mi-
microchip.
Yeah.
This is microchip.
Yeah, it's just like they put just a sci-fi guy in this
Okay,
from
well-
something else.
Can we continue through the characters?
Yes,
Because
the
I want to talk
Empire.
about Han and Chewie.
Yeah, so we got Trioculus, Grand Moff Hissa, MD5.
But you missed one.
What? I'm
No,
going.
you missed.
Oh
you missed
shit!
Baji.
You
I
missed
forgot
the Hoden
Baji,
healer.
Sorry, I forgot he was in the book.
Yeah.
At all.
Oh yeah, very much.
Baji the Hoden healer.
You forget he's in scenes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he's there, and we'll see
He's-
more
he's
of him.
there, and
Talk a lot about him and the way he talks.
Yeah. So we got
Wait,
Trioculus.
Trioculus doesn't understand it.
No.
We'll get to it.
MD5 got Dunhausen again, and now we got some new
Is
ones.
Dunhausen the one with the laser blaster?
You
earrings?
bet.
Yeah,
you bet.
okay.
We remember all the characters, and then we've got some new ones.
Yeah.
Commodore Zuggs.
Yep.
Who is I don't
Pilots?
remember.
No,
Pilots
yeah.
the ship they're in.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
The
then
Commodore shouldn't be the one at the helm.
and
Well,
then
yeah.
we've only heard mention of these characters before, but the prophets of the dark side.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
here.
So we've got Supreme Prophet Kadan,
Yep.
the big bad,
dwarf,
the
as they call him.
black bearded dwarf,
Then we have the very tall prophet.
the one that's like 7 feet tall, High Prophet Jenkar. We'll get into that.
yeah, Manute Bowl.
yeah.
Supreme dark prophet of the NBA.
yeah.
Okay.
But
well,
do we want to get
I want
deep
to.
into
I want
it?
to start from the beginning of the plot.
Yes, let's just
on
move through.
Cloud City, not on the gas giant. Which thank
Yes.
you, Patrick, for keeping me
Yeah.
well informed and
In orbit
humble.
around, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a warehouse
It's in orbit around it.
Oh yeah, it's a warehouse.
in Port Town or whatever.
Well, I think because isn't Bespin's a gas giant, right?
Yeah.
They don't have-
So I guess
Yeah.
it's not orbit. It's just
But-
floating in the clouds.
yeah, yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
connected to
sorry,
Cloud
not
City.
orbit. It's in the atmosphere. I guess not. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But this is because in the first book he mentioned that Lando had sold him a piece of sky.
Yeah. Which seems like a scam.
It does.
Yeah,
It
it's like
sounds
virtual real
buying
estate.
a star
Which, you know-
or
Yeah.
timeshare.
That checks out. That's Lando.
Yeah.
That's Lando
Which
right
is so
there.
funny that our roguish what is Oh,
smuggler?
God. Yeah, but like, what planet is he from? 'Cause this comes up-
Corellia?
Corellian smuggler. Yeah, that comes up later. But
Yep.
this hero of the Rebel Alliance is just like time that I buy a piece of sky.
Yeah,
and build
there's
my
like-
house.
For some reason.
There's like a crisis going on.
Yeah.
He's like, "Don't talk to me, Leia. I've got to
Buy a house.
I've got to decorate my mansion, my sky
My
mansion.
6-bedroom house.
It's got a cloud car garage."
I quoted this. Yeah, a 2 cloud car garage.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a warehouse in Port Town, which I think is on Cloud City. It doesn't really specify.
Skeevy neighborhood where
There it is.
where they take shore leave.
Yeah, this happens to be one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Cloud City, a hangout for all types of alien hoods and sleazy, small-time gamblers.
And why is it so dangerous at this particular moment? Food piracy.
Food pirates!
I had on page 3 of this book, I had 3 notes or 3 highlights. It was the first was talking about Luke's hand, which I don't need to read the whole thing, but it just basically really breaks down that Luke has an artificial hand that he lost fighting Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It,
Again, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no,
Again, these are
I
books-
have seen Star Wars.
These are books ostensibly for people that have seen Star Wars, but also who haven't.
Yes.
Yeah, and
It
then
says right here, Luke stuck his left hand into the slot since his right hand was artificial and didn't have any fingerprints. It was mechanical, a replacement for his real right hand, which he lost in a lightsaber duel with the evil Darth Vader.
And then, the food. So the food is being stolen and shipped to a secret Imperial base. I don't know how they know that.
Yeah. But not Whaladon meat.
This book does my favorite thing that the last book did, which so Luke is there because they're installing
Wads.
a security system.
They're installing wads.
What is Luke's job?
He's installing wads.
He's like a maintenance. He's like a low-level maintenance worker.
He's installing warning
I
and
don't-
detection defense devices.
Right, which they don't have systems as good as that on the warehouses.
Yeah, they're like shitty, so he's putting the high
Because
tech
the food
wads
pi-
in.
the remnants of the Empire, which are hosting giant meetings on slave planets, are also hiring out, like contracting food pirates to hit hotels.
Yeah.
And stockpile, I guess, like continental breakfast for the Grand Mobs.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Food
Also,
for
it's
the
Cloud
stormtroopers.
City. It's not like this is like a gang operating inside a casino against the casino, right? Like, okay, maybe if like they were working together, sure, but it doesn't make any fucking sense that they're just
And Cloud City just has ice cream.
yeah.
Is that a
There's just it's a dumb thing. There's a guy like when Cloud City's getting evacuated at Empire. This guy running with an ice cream maker. That's like when I went to a Star Wars celebration in like 2022 or something. There's a thing I didn't know about where there's like 50 people dressed as this guy with ice cream makers running through the convention, and it scared the shit out of me.
That's so funny. And it would get edited out in a Disney product.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't have that in there. Anyway, so yeah, they're stealing food for stormtroopers with food pirates.
It's so crazy.
And Luke's
but-
installing security.
I'm just saying, what is his job in the rebellion? Every time we come across Luke, he's like doing maintenance work.
He's like their like Mike Ehrmantraut. He's like Mon Mothma's guy.
But
Yeah.
even lamer, because like anyone could do this.
well,
It
then he's
doesn't-
like Huel.
yeah.
Like Lando should get some people on this.
Honestly, it's his. Like he owns Cloud
He owns
City.
a city.
Doesn't he have a maintenance crew that can install WAD
Yeah.
units?
He just like snaps his fingers and Lobot goes,
Why
opens his eyes.
does the last Jedi have to do this
Yeah.
job?
Get some Ugnaughts on it.
yeah.
Anyway, I also did want to note the first thing that's said by a character is from R2, and it's Baji Dits. We also got our first Chewbacca phonetic talking.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
hear it.
Row Ralph.
There it is.
growled. And then later R2 toots to Chewbacca. He says, "Chnoog bizip, kroog kshbik snoob boom," which I'm sorry, but it's not even close. Just say R2 whistled.
Yeah.
Right. But then Luke.
Oh, I really
Yeah,
want to get
it's-
into this one.
Yeah. Okay. So, are you talking about the bruise?
Yes,
Yeah.
we need to talk about the bruise.
So it's Luke, R2, and 3PO classics, but don't worry, it doesn't stay that way for long. Visiting
no.
Han and Chewie, building the floating house, mansion even,
Yeah.
which we'll get
It is
to.
a
But
mansion.
Chewbacca, he hugs he hugs Master Luke and he says, "Whoa, hey, hang on! I actually just bruised my shoulder." And then something about WAD units, and then R2 beeps, and then 3PO translates it. Master Luke's shoulder was bruised when we helped the Cloud Police capture a gang of Imperial food pirates, all of them on Cloud City's most wanted list. One of those nasty rogues kicked Master Luke in the shoulder, causing the skin tissue to turn blue and black. And then Luke responds,
We usually refer to it as black and blue.
You dope.
"You fucking idiot." Which I
Stupid
thought when
droid.
he was like, "Hey, I've got a sore shoulder," I was like, "Right, because of the explosion in the last book." No, it's
It's a
a
new
different
thing.
thing that we have to invent food piracy to explain.
Who the food pirates never come back.
Oh,
Right?
no,
It's
they're
just
just
mentioned.
to get them there.
There's like,
They also are instrumental in what happens to Luke, right?
I guess.
I don't even remember.
The explosion.
Yeah, when he gets blown up. The guy blows
he
him
gets-
up. Spoiler alert.
Does he get blown? I don't remember this book at all.
He
and I
gets
just
really
read it.
hurt.
Yeah.
It takes him like days to
Fucks his
recover.
hand up.
Okay.
But
His
yeah,
robot hand.
the book.
Oh, right.
But the book's explaining to us what bruises are.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like, it gets hurt and then it turns blue and black.
Child reading this. Oh,
That's what happened.
I
It's
like-
so strange.
They describe, I think Lando says, or maybe it was Han, says, it's a new concept of mine. Houses that float in the sky.
yeah. I guess we should talk
So
about
Han
that.
invented the cloud house or
Well,
something?
he's
right?
inventing it, but he's in Cloud City.
Right.
a
So it's
floating
not really an
city.
invention. Yeah.
Not at all.
But he wants his own little spot. 'Cause
yeah.
He's got the cloud car garage, a floating mansion, Han said, laughing.
I likened it to saying you're inventing a new type of skyscraper that's 2 stories tall.
Isn't it kind of weird to want to live like at the place where the worst things in your life happen to
Yeah,
you?
well, like you got frozen in carbonite for
Tortured?
years, tortured.
That scream.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's a nice piece of sky.
I guess so, but like it's really weird to be like, yeah, I just wanted to go back to where I was tortured and frozen.
It's
yeah.
it's
he had dinner with
amazing
Darth
'cause
Vader though.
yeah.
This guy has a ship, the Millennium Falcon, which he's been living on.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's huge.
It's got
Yeah.
space.
But he says, "I've been from one end of this galaxy to the other," his voice swelling with pride, "and I've never seen another house like this one. It's a new concept of mine. Houses that float in the sky. If you don't like the cloud you're living on, you just drift off to another one." But he's a real estate guy. He's like
Yeah.
a weird like rental dude.
yeah, but also an oaf. He doesn't know what galaxy he lives in.
Yeah.
Then he says, "Row Ralph."
Yeah, we should
Oh,
get.
that's what
let's-
Chewbacca said.
The
Sorry.
house, by the way. Luke couldn't believe his eyes. Han's house had outdoor observation decks,
Yep.
a big kitchen under a transparent dome, which that's the first of many domes.
Yeah.
in
Well,
this
there's really
book.
just like one dome that gets constantly referred
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Lots of bedrooms with floating beds. I didn't really
Wow.
clock that when I was ready to
Why?
get, but the beds float too.
Why?
A circular living room that could be turned to face any direction. That's kind of sick. A workroom for building everything from blasters to airspeeders. A two cloud car garage, and then he gets cut off
So is it too
Yeah, he gets cut off by himself.
by Han.
Well, no, Luke is looking around and he says, "Impressed? You impressed?"
3PO's impressed.
So is R2. He
Will
says, "Chip."
Zitch.
Chizitch. It also though, like, because it comes up, he's like, "This is a pretty big house. Are you trying to fill it with
Yeah.
children you're gonna put in my
thinking-
sister?"
Well, he says, you thinking about marrying my sister Leia when you built this huge
Yeah.
place?
And then he
Remember my
blushes,
sister?
right?
Weird
I
way
know,
to-
yeah, he's trying to like pimp her out, and
Yeah.
there should have been a line like, "I know from when I kissed her that she's a dog.
Yeah. Yep. She'll do anything.
She'll do anything, even with her own brother."
And Han also says, if I ever decide to get married, which is highly improbable,
It would have been her.
It would have been her. Leia is at the top of my list, but this is all just wild speculation.
A lot to get into. List,
Yeah.
but
He's got
also
a
like
I do really quick want to just mention that Han did cook them a spicy Corellian meal on his nanowave stove.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, nanowave stove kind of gets into something else I wanted to talk about.
Oh,
With zoochberry pies.
Yeah,
for
Chewie
Yeah,
got
dessert.
some
Zoochberries are
Zoochberry
back.
pie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chewie,
yeah.
which is Chewie bakes. I
Chewie
guess.
Bakes.
Of course.
His newfound cooking abilities he
Yeah.
has.
Did you see a Force ghost?
No,
Yeah.
I mean
He's on
maybe
Tarful.
his wife Mala. She's definitely a good cook because she's in the holiday special. She's watching those videos of that like blackface alien.
Oh, yeah.
cooking.
Yeah.
So he still has a wife, right?
Yes.
So I do love that if you read between the lines, that this is like an awesome dirtbag move. Is Han's like, I'm gonna marry that girl, but first I'm gonna leave her so I can build a house. And
For some reason.
if I don't marry her, it's okay because there's other people on the list.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring my hairy best friend who has a wife and son, and he's also gonna live with me, and we're gonna make pies and spicy curries.
We're
and
never gonna
We're
see
just
our
gonna hang
families.
out, just boys. Like,
Yep.
it's so
Cooking
good
for
I
our
know.
other boys.
Nanowave Stove reminds me of something that bothers me so much in these books so far, is that the authors, they clearly love like tech and gadgets.
Yeah,
like
of
there is
course.
there is
Oh,
an
yeah.
aspect to sci-fi that they really enjoy, is like the things.
Yeah,
But
that's
also
understandable.
the most creative they can get is nanowave stove. It's like sci-fi-ish word than regular thing. It's like how
Yeah.
Star Trek says like a Yarfarian lion bird. Like
Yeah.
it's like mostly normal things but with a planet. So like in this book we have like vaporizing tooth cleaner, computer notebook, Imperial anti-security device.
Computer notebook
is
actually
pretty
is
bad.
way more important than you would think. to
Yeah.
the
but
story.
also not.
Well, no, it doesn't have any real importance, but it's constantly going missing. Like, most of the action that Ken is involved in is based on on
It's fucking
retrieving a
computer
computer
notebook.
Which you're
notebook.
thinking, oh, it's a tablet. No, it's got an inside cover with his
Yeah.
address on
Yeah.
it, which we'll get to. But
And maybe you're thinking it's got sensitive data on it.
no
homework.
And
It's
then you're
homework,
like, well,
purely
at,
homework.
at least at a certain point, like we'll get to that. But it doesn't. It seems like it's going to be of consequence to Luke, and then not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
like
yeah,
Luke
Zooch
is
berries are back.
Luke's just trying to get Han to come back to spin because important
Which
things
is-
are happening.
What is that?
Oh geez, it was in my last notes. The
Something-
Senate Planetary Intelligence Network
I
or
think
something
that's
like
right,
that.
yeah.
I don't know
very
for
good.
sure, but
Very good.
the letters work. So let's see. Like he says, like, Han wants him to come back. Han's like, nope.
Yep.
I gotta finish my house.
I might marry her, but I'm more interested in the house.
Yeah.
There's
if
this
I'm
line
being
that says,
honest.
"The two buddies said their farewells."
Is that before they explain that Luke was hurt by an exploding bomb?
No, that's
I
it. That's
wrote that
exactly
down
before.
too.
Yeah, this is way before
Quick
that.
question: they take a Y-wing.
Yeah, Luke flies a Y-wing a lot
okay.
in this.
Yes, I had a big problem with that.
Also, is there room for 3PO in there?
I also wondered that. I think there probably
you know
is
what?
there a co-pilot seat in a Y-wing?
There's a variant of a Y-wing
Okay.
that has 2 seats,
Okay.
Okay.
and he's probably flying
But
back.
still, it was like they took Luke's Y-wing. Luke doesn't have a Y-wing.
It's like a BSL
Why
S3
wouldn't you
or
put him in
something.
an X-wing?
exactly.
It's iconic.
He has an X-ray. It's his X-ray.
His main, if we're wondering what Luke's job is, one of the only things you can really point to, because Jedi is more of a vocation.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Pilot.
yeah.
His
He's
whole
a great
thing
pilot.
is he's a great
well,
pilot.
janitor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are from his wartime days. His piloting. Now
Also,
he fixes things.
The book that came out before this, Heir to the Empire, there's a whole thing about how only Luke and R2 can fly his X-Wing because they're so tuned into it.
Yeah.
And R2's like code is melted in with the X-Wing,
It
basically.
can't be maintained like other X-wings because it's so
Yeah.
specific to Luke.
Yeah.
But no, we're
And then-
going to leave.
But instead,
well, I think the
Not
reason
that
is
they
because
read
the
that,
authors
but-
didn't want to explode the X-Wing,
Yeah,
I guess.
is the only
oh,
reason.
yeah. Okay,
that must
I
be
guess,
it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I guess the only other thing is C-3PO is riding along.
Yeah, because
Maybe
at
that's
first I
it.
thought it was an X-Wing,
Yeah.
and I thought about 3PO like,
Yeah.
over his shoulders.
I mean, I'm still like a Y-Wing. I don't really think has 2 seats. I mean, I guess if there's
It's
some
the
variant,
variant.
but-
It's like the BSL S3 or something.
They haven't had any qualms
got
before
3PO.
about just being like they got in a ship that had 2 seats called a 2-seat fighter craft.
I know
Or some
the
bullshit.
They fly a-
two-seat fighter craft exploded by
Or a
an
cloud
exploding
car.
bomb.
Why not a cloud car?
Like,
Yeah, there's
they
room for
could've
2 in the
gotten
garage.
Yeah.
the cloud car.
Whatever.
One of the strangest vehicles.
Is that the one that's like 2 cockpit, like 2 sidecars?
Yeah. They try to pull over Han when he first comes to Cloud City and Empire. Yeah, so Luke's Y-Wing explodes. There's a bomb in it.
An exploding bomb.
Yes, an exploding bomb.
Yeah, because otherwise, if it was just a bomb, obviously it wouldn't
Yeah.
hurt him.
He gets hit with a big old broomph.
Yeah, he
He
gets
gets
hit with
flipped
a
over
broom.
backward, knocking his head against the door. The blast hurled the thruster into his right arm, tearing open his mechanical hand.
Oh no.
Oh, jeez.
damaged it,
shoot.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucked it up real good. He couldn't use it. Couldn't close the fingers. And then I think 3PO says, one of the food pirates obviously sent us a nasty farewell present. He's
Thank you,
goofing.
Thank you, 3PO.
Luke just got
Thank
blown
you.
up by like a terrorist attack.
by a food pirate.
Chewbacca says groove. R2 says dweep zine boop.
Yep.
And then 3PO says, yes, R2, I know. That's a miniature bomb detonator manufactured by the Empire.
Manufactured by the
Which,
Empire.
like,
The
is
manufacturer
anything...
doesn't have the Empire doesn't have a manufacturing base. They contract to.
Which also they
I believe.
contract...
Maybe they do have some,
Well, no,
you know,
they contract out, but their weapons are being produced on Cloud City.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
mentioned
it's-
in the last book, that this city
yeah.
where they're hanging out now,
Orlando
there's...
owns it. We're a rebellion general.
Yeah, I guess he's just letting me. He's like, well, if they pay, I guess that's
Yeah.
all right. Also,
as
is there
many bombs as
anything
you
left of the bomb?
No, I don't think so. It
That's
is-
a miniature bomb detonator.
Let's see. Han helps him out. Yeah, they're just like talking about this shit while Luke is exploded by a bomb. Let's see. He goes to the Cloud City Hospital.
Is this when he has the dream?
Oh yeah, because the title of this chapter is called "A Bomb and a Dream" or something like that.
A bomb is a dream.
Guess who
a
appears in the
heart
dream?
makes.
Oh yeah. So let's see.
Well,
There's-
before we do that, they kind of
You must
end.
remember the code.
Oh no.
Which we'll get to the go.
Look at there we go. That's a big one.
Well, basically, like the ship's exploded. Luke is in bad shape.
Yeah.
Han's like, they
He
have
goes
to
to-
take him back to Yavin 4.
Yeah,
and
Cloud
Han,
City Hospital doesn't have the treatment.
It doesn't. It might take weeks to repair Luke's Y-wing starfighter, so it could have been the X-wing.
Yeah.
Not a
Yeah,
problem. Sounds like it just smoked up the cockpit. But
Yep.
Han resigned himself that his sky house was going to have to wait. Friendship came first.
I just remembered something. I don't think I wrote this down, but it is so unclear what's happening when that bomb goes off. Because like it sounds like Luke gets thrown to the floor.
He does, like, a
of
Yeah,
the
flip.
well, it
Y-wing.
says
Yeah.
that
there
his
is no like. It's just a seat.
it says his right hand is smashed by the spaceship's power booster. It
Like the
doesn't say that
giant
it's
engine?
hit by the bomb. It's just
I don't think they know what a Y-wing is
Or a
looks
bomb.
like. Or a bomb. Yeah,
Yeah, and it says
it's
like
so confusing.
a sudden explosion hurled Luke back in his chair so hard that his safety straps tore loose.
which if
What?
you're going back in the chair.
the safety straps aren't.
Like
Well,
he's
it's
going
like
forward.
it's like
They
when
should-
somebody unlocks the puzzle box, the configuration,
Oh, yeah,
and
the
all the
limber
hooks come
cans.
out
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
chain. So he's like strung
No,
up
it-
inside the cockpit.
I had to read that. I read it like 4 times, trying to figure out just like what is like geographically what is happening here.
Bomb and dream is a very apt descriptor because it does
Yeah.
feel like you're
The bomb
dreaming.
and
You're
a
like
dream.
you're in one
Yeah.
place, then you're in another. Like it's like Luke. Luke was hurt, and it would take a couple days to heal. Luke was healed a couple days later.
It's classic for these books.
Yeah.
We should talk about the exploding bomb. That happens on the next page.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're suddenly talking to Leia a page later, and Han says, "Don't worry, Your Highness. Luke had a little run-in with an exploding bomb.
Yep. Oh, good.
But fortunately, your brother's like a Kowakian lizard monkey.
Uh-huh.
That
has 9 lives.
9 lives. Yeah,
I mean, that has 9
that
lives.
has
yeah.
9 lives.
So most of them don't, but it's
These-
like
these
if
ones-
one of them did have.
Yeah,
9
some of them
lives.
have like
Yeah.
8 or
It's
10.
not a
Yeah,
normal
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
This one can survive many
Yeah.
deaths.
Yeah.
She says thanks for bringing him home. Her brother, who's just been bombed by food terrorists.
It's like he
And
came
then
home
he
from,
puts
like,
his
the
arm
bar.
around her and stares into her eyes.
Yeah.
Luke said you missed me. Sorry I've been such a hermit, princess. I'll make it up to you, I promise.
Wow.
Han stopped Leia to give her a very long kiss. Which, what does stopped mean? She wasn't talking or moving?
Yeah, I don't.
She's standing there like a man and goes, whoa, hey.
Yeah. Read the next thing.
And, okay. And against the princess's better judgment, she didn't try to make it any shorter.
That's a mouthful.
Oh, God. Yeah, around the kiss, I'm building you a house.
Also, aren't they?
In the
For
sky.
your very own cloud car.
So they're kissing. They're together. But Han is also saying that she's at the top of the list of people he wants to marry,
Yeah.
and she doesn't seem. She thinks she shouldn't be doing it, but he's building her a house. It's really like I don't understand what
he
their
sounds like
relationship
such a
is.
sleaze.
These are
bag.
characters that say in the movies that they love each other.
Yes.
Well, no, she says it. He says, "I know."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until the
He's keeping her at
Well,
an
yeah,
arm's
until
length.
Return of the Jedi, where
Eventually.
he says it and she says, "I
I haven't
know."
seen
Yeah.
that. I haven't seen
Oh,
that.
it's cool. You
Yeah,
should check it
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, nah.
Some good scenes in it. That's it. He
I've
gets
seen the
his,
Ewok movies.
Oh, good.
I get it.
I guess that's yeah.
but he
Luke Hollis.
he gets his hand fixed,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then what does he want? He wants to go to tattoo. What does he want? Some droids, some new droids.
So yeah, they need to go just check out a new crop of droids, and they have to take R2 and 3PO.
Yeah. So they just get sent to Tatooine.
The new droids can't speak as many languages as 3PO, and they've never been programmed to translate the beeps of an R2 unit.
Oh, shucks.
Great.
Whatever. The meeting with Jawas, I guess. Moving with the meeting with junk dealers.
Yeah.
They're in charge. You guys run the system now.
Great.
You run the galaxy.
Yep.
Oh, there was a good drop of Masasi lore
Oh yeah.
coming up there. Let's see. It was like
yeah.
the white. He's talking about his white stone tower that Luke's bedroom is
Yeah,
in.
his house.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
lighthouse he lives
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Created by a vanished alien race called the Masasi. On this foliage-covered moon, many of the ancient archaeological wonders of the Masasi still stood, reminders of these ancient people and their society.
So the Masasi, were they Jedi?
They created the temples.
Yeah.
But they
on
have
Yavin.
nothing to do with the titular lost city.
No, they kind of have more of a dark side connection in the deeper expanded universe. But I don't.
So
think
that's
we get
cool and
any of that.
interesting, and that's why we don't really delve any
Yeah,
further
so
into
we
that in this
don't-
book.
no, no,
Okay,
no,
got
no,
it.
yeah.
No.
Need more ham-fisted ecological storylines.
Yeah. So Luke, he goes to bed in his white stone tower and has a dream.
Also, does it have a roof? It says he lay on his bed and stared
stares
up at the stars.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe there's like a dome.
maybe he's got glow in the dark
Yeah.
ones stuck on
Yeah,
the side.
yeah.
That
So-
one's the Death Star.
He dreams about a
old
wall.
master.
Yeah, he dreams about his master, but also a green marble wall. A
Uh-huh.
tubular transport
That's right.
is behind it. And then who shows
is-
up? But Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, why don't you just read that entire part?
Oh,
'Cause it's classic, really wordy vision from Obi-Wan.
this is the dumbest thing that happens in the entire book. And Obi-Wan shows up in the dream and says, Luke, this is the entrance that leads underground to the lost city of the Jedi. The entire history of the galaxy and all its worlds is recorded there, protected by the caretaker droids of the city. Your destiny is linked to the one who lives down there. Memorize this code, Luke. Its importance shall soon become clear to you. JE99DI88FOR00CE. And then he fades away. I was like cracking up. When I read this, I was like, what the fuck?
And then
It's Obi-Wan.
You know how Obi-Wan's constantly like giving him visions and giving him extremely specific
Very,
the
very-
password to my account.
It's extremely literal, and he wakes up and it says he wondered what his dream meant.
Yeah, it seems super obvious.
like,
What could it mean?
Yeah.
I have dreams where I wake up and I was like, what the hell is that? But if somebody came in and told me the password to my bank account is JEDIFORCE, I'd wake up and be like, oh shit, I need to find where this password goes.
This code, I didn't even see the hidden words in it the first time. Not
What?
until the second time did
Oh,
I go,
really?
wait a minute.
Jedi Force.
Dagobah
9988
JE99DI88FOR00CE.
You must go to 1724 Swamp Avenue in Dagobah City in the Dagobah system. There you will turn left at the first shrub.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? What does it mean?
There's an unprotected left.
It's in New Jersey, so you'll have to do rights only.
Jug handles abound, Luke. You'll see a sign that says hidden driveway and get excited for like some sort of find and seek thing. It's actually
It's
a
not
very
that.
obvious
It's not
driveway. It's
that.
just a little bit obscured by the foliage.
And he comes gasping awake from the stream. Like it was like something scary. Oh my lord.
Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi was a master of the Force. Master capitalized them. But now Luke could feel the Force inside himself.
Ooh.
Yeah, that grossed me out.
You could feel the force
weird.
throbbing inside him.
Yeah, pulsing.
Yeah, so he dresses, walks down the stairs to climb into his airspeeder. What is the airspeeder?
I also.
But then also the
No
airspeeder goes above the trees.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, why not
It's
just
something
park
that
it
he
next to the
can
bedroom?
hop inside of and hop out of and fall off of. So it's not like the snow speeders.
It's like
It's
those
something
like
it's like a speeder bike or
it's
something.
like those lowrider motorcycles with
Yeah.
big shields up around the front and the speakers around.
Yeah.
They're always like a purple.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's
or a trike, one of those 3-wheel.
Yeah. He's got a Stingray.
for books that like really get into the
Scorpion.
specifics of
I
every
don't
vehicle.
remember.
It really is very vague about the airspeeder.
Yeah.
It's the things that they choose to focus on, like, and then the things that they mention and don't elaborate any further. They don't even call it like a flying airspeeder, or like a
His jungle airspeeder or something.
Yeah, jungle air. There's nothing airspeeder.
I don't
Yeah.
understand why every decision they make, no matter how small, makes this book worse. like just the okay, we've kind of established that nothing can happen outside of like planets we've seen in the movies, other than I guess calamari. But for the most part, it's like they're not inventing anything new here.
There's Obi-Wan
like,
showing him the
Why? Why is it on Yavin 4?
Well,
Make it
because
another
it's
planet.
right under our noses the whole time.
That doesn't
like-
doesn't matter. It could just be any. It just
the
come up-
Force brought them here.
Also, it's weird that Yavin 4 apparently is like the headquarters of the new
Spin.
Republic or whatever. But
Yeah, because it's supposed to be like a
but
hidden
then-
base.
but then the Empire just shows up and like with no resistance.
No, in fact,
just-
there's a chimney that they come in through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a chimney. Well, that's way later.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll,
later.
we'll get
Yeah,
to that.
we'll
I
get
just
to that.
wanted I wanted to say I wrote down I think somewhere, but Luke flew the airspeeder faster and faster. He didn't understand why. He didn't know where he was headed. He just trusted the Force and kept going. I wrote Ryan Dunn.
or Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Famously got a terrible motorcycle accident. That's why he looks so strange. and- yeah.
It sounds a lot like just drunk driving.
Yeah,
You just get in the driver's seat and go.
He trusted the beefeater and kept going.
Wow. Okay,
Okay.
so we're still in chapter 1.
Yep.
Not anymore.
Now we are deep and below. Well, nobody knows this yet, but
Mm-hmm.
below the surface of Yavin 4. Listen to this sound.
Is that Darth Vader?
No.
Is it is it the crack of a whippet?
No.
It might be that. Yeah.
It's a Mooka.
Oh, his
Are those
pet
in
bird?
Star
Fucking
Wars?
Mooka. I don't
It's like
think
a feathered
I've
cat
never
with
heard of
4
that before,
ears.
yeah.
I googled it and they're in this book.
But I went cover to cover on this book 6 times, thinking, how many lives does a Mooka have?
Yeah,
It didn't tell
right.
me.
Just
The Mooka
say
that
that.
has how many lives?
Yeah.
Well, no matter how many lives it has, it might be abnormal for it to have 9.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
guess so. Well, this one.
Yeah. And then Ken says, "Down, Zebo!
Well, he's not very affectionate. to this
Down,
animal.
Zebo!" He strikes
He
his
fucking
Mooka.
Yeah.
hates everything.
Yeah, he does not. He's not. Doesn't lead a joy.
He's not a pleasant little
Yeah.
boy.
No.
So we get introduced to what might be the main character of this series.
Down, Zebo.
Ken?
boy. Yeah, Ken.
The
Ken.
boy-shaped boy,
The chip-shaped boy.
who is a Jedi Prince.
Yep.
Well,
he's
yeah, and there's no question about that because it comes
Nope.
up.
Also, what is a Jedi Prince?
We treat you like a prince, almost a
Jedi.
Jedi
Yeah, I like
Prince.
that. Yeah.
When would his Mooka learn that boys didn't like to get out of bed in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Especially 12-year-old boys like Ken, who always went to bed late.
Yep.
It's supposed to be us who read the book.
And honestly, that fucking worked on me.
It
when I
worked.
was a kid.
Yeah. Like, I was like-
whoa, Ken is me.
Yeah, I do homework.
Yeah.
Oh,
I hate
have a
it.
Mooka.
Yeah. I wish I was an orphan.
Yeah.
we're
Did
also
you ever, let me say, did you ever fantasize about being an orphan as a child because of all the cool adventures you'd go on and mysteries you'd solve?
I
Every
fantasize
so
about
often, yes.
being
Okay.
trapped in some sort of fairy glen and being made very small.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool,
and then through that, my parents lose me, and I'm kind of
Right.
raised by the
Fae
fae.
folk.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So not orphaned. You still got parents, but you're disconnected.
I was wondering what a Mooka was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, maybe it'll describe it. No, but it does go out of its way to say, just once, I wish I could hear the bark of a dog or the meow of a cat
Yep.
instead
Oh,
of the
Lord.
kshhhhhh of a Mooka.
Yeah. So I don't.
And then, well, let me do the next part of that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, come on, Zebo. I didn't mean it. Ken pet his Mooka behind one of its 4 pointy ears. Don't be jealous. You know I love you. Besides, I've never even seen a cat or a dog
Ugh.
except in pictures in the Jedi library.
So I know this annoys the shit out of you too.
You know,
Every once in a while in the expanded universe, they'll like hint at Earth
Mhm.
or like Earth stuff, and it fucking
Doesn't
sucks.
make any
It is
sense.
the worst. Why?
Even Heirs of
Leave
the
it
Empire
out.
did it. Like we talked about
Do
it last
they?
one. The hot chocolate.
Oh, hot chocolate.
Yeah.
At least that is like. I mean, it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Just call it like.
Corellian
just-
hot chocolate.
Yes.
Like,
anything else.
Or
but-
just play it off as just normal. Like if he's just like, Luke
Yeah.
had hot chocolate. But he's like, Lando introduced me to this weird drink called
Yeah.
hot chocolate.
But just do
It's like
like,
root beer in Deep
what's
Space Nine.
Bubo? A frog dog or something? Or
Listen,
Fubo's like a frog dog,
listen,
right?
I know they didn't provide too much description of what he looks like besides the ears, because there's a picture
Yeah.
in the actual book.
That's a bird dog.
That's a bird
Yeah.
dog.
No, yeah, it's a bird.
I thought it was way more like a cat thing.
It looks like a baby griffin.
maybe
but
I'm
no
just a
wings.
cat owner.
I think it's
Yeah.
this book. They like specific. It's either in this series or in Galaxy of Fear. I can't remember, where they talk about the HoloNet having an entry on pets called dogs on a place called Earth or something like that.
The last book did, with little thought to the consequences, introduce the concept of wormholes.
Yeah.
That
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
glove fell through one and ended up on Calamari.
where they needed
so,
to
like,
be. Yep.
Nothing means anything.
Yeah.
Also, he reads about, for a kid who hates homework, he has learned an awful lot in the Lost City of the
Also,
Jedi, in their
he's
library.
obsessed with Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
It's his favorite guy in the world. Does not recognize him when he
Nope.
meets him. Has
No.
no clue who he is.
Which it's not just learning about the galaxy. He's basically been watching the Star Wars movies.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
been learning about things that happened 2 years ago.
And
Yeah.
like to one person that would have been public.
He hears about Han as well.
No, I
Even
mean
through
like
some
I mean
sheds.
like a thing that happened
Oh,
to like
yes. No, yeah.
very
Which is-
small group like would probably not be public
I
knowledge.
guess it's been chronicled very, very much so.
Yeah.
So like Ken, this is our guy, Ken. He wakes up, he's stressed about his homework, and he's worried about his homework correction droid, HC-100.
Yep.
Yeah.
Coming snooping around, who resembled a droid Ken had studied about called C-3PO, a golden human-shaped droid that belonged to the Jedi Knight, Luke Skywalker.
Fucking stupid.
So this is info that's probably like, what, 3 years old or something?
Yeah.
It's just like, this
Yeah.
is current events he's keeping track of.
Yeah.
I know. I didn't even learn about anything happening in our schools. And,
No.
my parents moved to a good school system.
Yeah. So
Also,
the-
HC, not phonetic.
Nope.
Maybe
it's
they
always
couldn't
the
figure
numbers.
out how to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
he sits in a
H.
he lives in a
AYCH.
dome house,
Yeah.
presumably because Luke had a dome house in the first movie. I'm guessing that's why.
Well, I mean, it's
he's
the
in a
it's
dome
the
house.
it's the greatest form of galactic construction.
I mean, I agree, but I think that's
if
why.
only we could get it to float.
And he's taken care of by 3 droids. Well, 2 really, but so he's got the homework droid, who's
HC-100.
kind of a bitch like C-3PO.
Gives him a
Just
65 on his Moons of Yavin
Yeah.
paper.
comes
I
in
know.
grades unfinished papers.
He just
before they're due.
It's like a
Sneaks-
teacher breaking
a
into your
dickhead.
house and like
Yeah.
like taking your a computer notebook.
Yeah.
A computer notebook.
If
yeah.
I had a droid that did that, I would like probably try to kill them.
Yeah.
Like dismantle them.
And then who's the like
Which also like
mean droid?
DJ,
DJ
88.
DJ,
Yeah.
and then obviously our favorite character,
Chip.
Chip the boy shaped.
That's
droid.
right.
Yeah.
Also, like Ken is clearly supposed to be kind of like sort of an analog for like an endpoint for kids.
Yeah.
For
Like
Luke.
insert.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be like Luke.
He's
But Luke and even Anakin, who like tinkered and understood how to like work with droids, Ken is just like, I fucking hate these guys,
not
and then
like
just
droids.
like just puts up with it.
Yeah.
Doesn't even try.
He's mean to Chip the boy shaped droid. Too. Like,
Well, I mean, like,
he's like, "Do you want a real friend? You're a robot."
well then
You're a
these
fake boy.
Hollis and Paul again making sure you know that droids
Oh,
don't have
yeah,
feelings,
yeah. Yep,
can't have
yep,
fun,
yep.
and can't be friends. But we will find later they can be betrayed.
Yeah. They also
What a
like
terrible example. You can't have friends or
No.
thoughts or fun, but you can experience broken trust.
they call them robots too sometimes.
They do
right?
refer to them as robots
Yeah,
every so
which is
often. Every
strange.
so often, they're called robots. Oh.
Yeah, and Ken kept
see.
he kept his data screen, which is not the computer notebook. Well,
Nope.
Wait. The computer notebook has a small data screen. He kept it behind some supplies on the highest shelf, and correction droids still found it.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy,
Yeah.
man. Like how
But-
what?
Eventually, he can't take it anymore. Right? He's
No.
staring at the twin suns or whatever the hell they have down there,
The twin domes.
and he says, "I got to get out of here." He sneaks out. He's got a key that he stole.
He makes a code to he discovered a
Something.
code to the tubular transport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we find this out because he's complaining. He says, "This
Yeah.
isn't fair at all, Zebo. HC obviously snuck into my dome house, found my computer notebook, and graded my report, even though I didn't even finish it yet. HC is turning into a spy and a nuisance, and I won't miss him a bit when I leave today on my secret journey top world."
Well, and
Top world.
so he does. He goes to the tubular transport to go top world, and Chip is a little frightened. He's timid, and he warns him, there are alien boy sellers who might steal.
I knew we were going to talk about the alien
I
boy
forgot I wrote that
sellers.
down.
There are
I-
alien boy sellers.
I might make that the title of this episode.
who might steal a boy like you and sell you into a life of slavery in the spice mines of Kessel.
Yep,
So
I wrote
once again reminding us how
Obligatory
important
mention
slaves
of
are.
slavery.
Yeah.
Yep.
It would be like if your parents, instead of being like, if you don't eat, you're not going to get homework.
Yeah.
It's more like if you don't eat, you could become a slave one day.
Yeah,
That's
a
how it
boy
works in
seller
Star
is going to
Wars.
get you.
The boy
Yeah,
sellers
an
are coming.
alien
They're
boy
everywhere.
seller.
Stay here where a droid breaks into your house when you're sleeping.
I know.
and
Stay in
grades
this
your
prison
homework.
dome where you were kidnapped to. But also, he tells Chip, he's like, I'm leaving today. And he says, of course I'll miss you.
Does he
And I
live on
know
s-
you'll miss me. Chip and DJ would probably. Oh, he's talking to the Muka, right?
Yeah,
Talking
yeah.
to
He said
the
Chip and
SIBO.
DJ would probably miss me too if droids could have feelings.
Yep.
Real feelings.
They mentioned that later too. Like it
Yeah.
comes up
Yes.
quite a bit.
Well,
He lives on is it his house that's on South Jedi Lane?
yes.
Yep.
We'll
Okay,
get to
okay,
that.
okay.
We'll get to
South
that.
Jedi Lane.
12, I think.
Yeah.
Also, can you read the paragraph that introduces Chip?
I don't know where that
Let's see,
is.
the one that
It's
considered
right
Chip,
here.
short for
Yes,
microchip. Ken considered Chip, short for microchip, his best and only friend.
Who he just said has no real feelings.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's fake.
Yeah.
Ken often wished that Chip were a human boy rather than just a metallic droid who was programmed to act like a boy and keep Ken company. And apparently, like, brush his teeth and bathe him.
Yeah, they are very involved in like the hygiene of this boy.
Yeah, it's very odd.
Because such a vaporizing tooth tubes or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's like in this is a weird poll, but in season 4 of Arrested Development, when George Michael goes to the pedophile community and they love him because he's a young-looking adult,
Oh no.
and they're all fawning over him and like playing in the pool and giving him ice cream.
You think HC-100's a pedophile droid?
Probably.
PD 100.
Oh no.
Oh god.
So Chip comes in with a tube of vaporizing tooth cleaner and a canister of foam soap.
Again, like what? We can't say like an ultrasonic like cleaner wand. It's a vaporizing toothbrush.
Yeah, it's just a toothbrush with lasers. He tells him he's got to go to the library. Ken puts on his silver pajamas. He loves silver.
Yeah.
Well, silver comes up later.
And we get introduced to the silvery crystal he always wore around his
Yeah.
neck.
Yellow also
Kyber,
comes
right?
up later.
Yeah, sure does.
Yeah.
It's got to be Kyber.
Is it Kyber?
I actually
Kyber
don't
was
know if
invented
Kyber.
yet.
Yeah, they
No.
might not. It might not be.
Let's. It was
very-
the color of Chip.
Oh, a very pleasant wake up to you, Ken, said the boy-shaped
Ah.
Silver Troy.
Here's another thing. It says Chip's clumsy boot-shaped feet. It's feet-shaped feet.
I think I like stopped. My brain is like getting too accustomed to this because I'm not highlighting a lot of stuff that I feel like I should be.
That's,
You're
it. That's
just
why there's 3 of
glazing
us.
over it.
Yeah.
His boot-shaped feet.
Boot-shaped feet
They're
is
shaped like
crazy.
The boy droid, who is the same height as Ken, picked up a bowl and began to fill it with what, you might ask?
Yep. I was just wondering, what is it? What could it be?
Empty yourself into this bowl, Ken.
I can repurpose your waste into food.
Anyways, he like bathes and feeds Ken.
Yeah, he says, I don't think a 12-year-old boy needs help vapor cleaning his teeth, do you? Master Ken, you know very well I don't think. I follow my program.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we got it.
Wake Ken, wash Ken, feed Ken.
Yeah.
Tell HC whether or not you've done your homework.
Rat on Ken.
Kill Ken.
Snitch, wake, vapor brush.
You know this is all I live for, Ken. I'm a slave.
Dear listener, you may think we're getting bogged down in the minutia. We are like halfway through this book.
This
it
is
feels
all
like.
there is minutia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. Domehouse, HC-100 shows up, grades his homework.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or tries
big,
to.
wide open mouth.
Yeah, just more Domehouse stuff. Domehouse gets said like 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then let's see. He's looking at his paper. And he says, and what have we here? You've correctly described Darth Vader's role as Emperor Palpatine's second in command, but oh no, you've made a serious mistake in your quiz on the Rebel Alliance. Luke Skywalker didn't pilot the Millennium Falcon in the first battle against the Death Star. It was Han Solo. And Chewbacca is his co-pilot. I thought you knew that, Ken.
No one who was there.
Right. I mean, I guess they do get awards at the end. You
Yeah.
know, but,
Yeah, well, I
you
guess
know.
they cut out the credit sequence where they're being interviewed. The
Yeah.
press conference.
Somebody made a
Do you ever
documentary.
think about how funny it is that So the first Star Wars movie is basically perfect in terms of just like storytelling, right? It follows every single beat
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
like the
hero's
hero's journey.
journey.
Exactly. It's like a flawless hero's journey execution, whatever. It's a great classic tale.
Yeah.
It is awesome. It's so funny to me that it ends with an award ceremony.
Yeah.
Well,
And
it's
I
also-
rarely
military.
think about it.
Yeah.
But the fact that it just ends with a medal ceremony is so weird.
Yeah, rather than like anything that the characters are doing. But I mean, Return of the King.
Yeah. It's military.
Yeah, but Return of the King doesn't end with that.
This
It
is a-
happens.
Rebellion.
That's where I
Yeah.
turn it off because I think it should have ended with the coronation.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nothing happens after
You bow to
that.
no one and then credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Da, da, da,
Guess
da,
they
da,
could've
da, da,
done
da.
that.
I mean, I kind of like when they're all leaving for.
that is great.
The
for
Undying
Valinor.
Lands, yeah.
Maybe
Oh.
Oh, it's a
But
different song. Never mind.
Ken
you
got
have that
a-
ring of mine. Do you have that silvery?
Okay.
Tell me, do you have that
Do you
homework
have that-
notebook?
We've been going for an hour.
That
already.
ring-shaped ring of mine? That can't be right.
Oh, yeah.
but he also got his homework wrong because he was daydreaming about actually meeting Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Chewbacca. I wonder what it would be like. Imagine flying off with them in the Millennium Falcon.
I used to daydream about that too.
Yeah, me too.
Never fucking happened.
Yeah.
You think my ass as a kid wasn't going like this, trying my hardest?
Every time
I'm holding
you were
my
alone?
hand out. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was scared of the pink goop in the bathtub from Ghostbusters too. That was mostly where my mind was.
Oh,
You either one or
I
the
was too
other.
busy being afraid.
You were worried
to
that
daydream.
Janusz was going to
Yeah,
What is
that
his name?
guy from
Something
the
the-
Mr. Bean movie?
Corinthian or something.
All
I don't
right.
know.
Let's see. Let's keep going. So there's a lot
Vigo
of
the
just like
Carpathian.
Vigo the Carpathian.
Sorry.
yes.
there's a lot of HC 100 just hanging out and just being annoying and Ken being like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
He does.
I guess we did get.
I
bogged
told you
down
1,000
We got
times,
very
guys,
body.
man.
We got to get to the next
don't-
chapter.
We gotta move. When I said we were halfway through the book, we were 14
Yeah.
pages into.
Also,
Yeah, I
Chip
know.
says I don't think, and then HC says I also don't think.
Okay, got it.
These
Thank
poor
you.
guys.
Still got it.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah,
understand.
he needs a human friend, not a robot, not a droid. He says to Chip.
Yeah.
Oh, so Chewbacca's 205.
Yeah, which is
Oh.
true.
Chip is putting the tooth cleaner into his mouth.
Tubular transport, tubular transport.
Yes.
I have it highlighted 3 times on this page.
It goes up it.
It goes whoop.
Yeah.
I have no idea how it works.
Yeah, it seems
I have
to
no
go up.
idea how it works.
He drags Chip into a tubular transport.
Oh, yeah.
to Top World.
Chip is like, I don't have a good feeling about this. And Ken says, yeah, well, you should come with me.
Yeah.
Why not?
You
He
can't say no.
He kidnaps the boy-shaped robot
Can we
with the boot-shaped
please?
feet.
Can we please move on to the null zone in the chamber
gotta
of
get
Darth
to the
Vision?
null zone.
But we didn't even talk about vitamin mints.
Yeah,
We
vitamin
don't have
syrup.
to. There's too much.
The vitamin syrup.
There's too much. Oh yeah, he eats vitamin syrup. That
his
is actually
meals.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Then who says dweep dweep? Somebody says dweep
I don't know.
dweep.
Just
I
get
don't know,
in
we
the
gotta
null
move. We
zone.
gotta move. We gotta move.
Oh my
yeah.
god, there's so much tubular transport. I
He
keep
goes up.
flipping.
He goes up the round stone wall of the tubular transport.
There's like 6 pages of going up in the tubular transport.
Yes.
Okay, here we are.
Chapter
the
3.
null zone. Flying with the Force, the chapter is called.
Yep.
We're here. Here's our villain, Trioculus.
It's called
Grand
the Dark
Moff
Blessing,
Hissa.
isn't it?
What? Mine says flying with the Force.
Mine
I'm
says
on
flying
chapter
with the
4.
Force.
Oh.
Oh, you can't get
You
that
probably
far
skip
ahead.
chapter 3, right?
They're talking about the how you can't lie to the
I know.
prophets
It's
of the
so
dark
funny. He's like,
side.
you can't lie. And this actually, the story made good on this, but like
Yeah.
Grand Moff Hissa, the one who has put this fraud in the position of emperor,
Yeah,
says
weird choice.
you can't lie.
Weird choice to make.
But
Yeah.
he's lying because of you. Also, I highlighted Hissa bit his lip because it points out that he has very pointy teeth.
Ooh, so that probably smarted.
Stings. Yeah. He might like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, little Star Wars lore in here that actually does connect to the rest of Star Wars. Trioculus is talking about they're talking about the Moffs or whatever. That he brings up Compnor.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
Yeah, which is the commission to something about the New Order or
Could
something.
be so easily shortened.
But I
They
think
put
that's
so many
something that
extra
exists.
letters in.
Let me see.
Trioculus snarled in anger. What about Compnor?
Commission for the Protection of the Republic?
Well,
No?
here it's the Commission for the Preservation
of the New Order. Yeah.
A group of powerful, brutal imperial terrorists.
Yeah. Which is a thing that like exists in the rest of Star Wars. So they actually tried to connect
There we
something.
go. Maybe
well,
this
his-
is where I came from.
Hissa tells him
The
that
origins.
it honestly, sometimes I wonder that with this stuff. But Hissa tells him that Compnor is waiting on the Dark Prophet Kadan's blessing before
Yes.
they endorse him because it's politicking now. To which Trioculus, he furiously blinked all 3 of his eyes, his 2 ordinary ones plus his 3rd eye. Why do you need to write that?
I know.
In case you were wondering.
There's some other weird, like, I have this Trioculus frowned, squeezing the control knob even harder, as if he were choking a disobedient stormtrooper.
which we thought,
Weird.
which I guess they're talking about a force choke, but the last book illustrated he doesn't know what that is.
Yeah.
So he's just
but
actually
he's
choking
strangling
people?
a stormtrooper.
Yeah, this is the control. Like he's squeezing something, so he is.
But
imagine
he
him like
has-
physically choking.
Yeah, actually choking a
stormtrooper.
guy.
Yeah.
Well, you don't get to become top slave lord on Kessel
I
without
guess so,
choking
yeah.
Strangling a few slaves.
Yeah.
And then he squeezes and he's like, no, you know what this reminds me of?
It's also, he says, what more does that black-bearded dwarf want?
Yeah,
Talking
Yeah,
about
not
the
a
prophet.
fan. Not a fan.
Kadar.
Of
He's
the
not
prophet.
an alien.
Yeah.
Like,
Nope.
to my knowledge, and he's just a short guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
it's hard to
notable. And then you're like, well, maybe all the prophets are like that.
Oh,
No, they're
make
of
sure
varying
you don't-
heights.
that
Yeah.
They're not. But yeah, he's like, he has to check the glove of Darth Vader. That's the whole thing.
I wrote down
That's
almost nothing about this chapter.
Yeah,
Because
because
over
nothing
in the
happens.
It's over in the next page, and we're like,
Oh well, no. This isn't chapter 3 where because it cuts back to Luke
yeah.
Yes,
when
right.
he runs into Hodin or whatever.
Baji the Hodin
Baji the
healer.
Hodin dealer.
All right, so Luke lands in the jungle, and he hears a voice that says, "Go ahead and read that."
You come from afar, so very welcome you are.
Ooh, a strange alien humanoid with green rubbery skin was digging up a purple flower.
The way
And,
they describe him is disgusting.
yeah.
It's like he had worms for hair.
Yeah.
he has short, snake-like vines growing out the top of his head.
He's also almost 9 feet tall, which, like, Luke,
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess, is really good at going, like, probably like 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
Luke is an exceptional judge of how tall someone is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not very tall.
So this guy's named Baji. It looks like, what are you doing here, Baji? He says, a Hodin healer am I. May these plants never die. From them comes health, the only true wealth.
The way they
So-
describe Baji, it feels like when like Star Trek pulls a random costume out of the warehouse. Because it feels so un-Star Wars.
Yeah.
A guy who
they-
speaks in rhymes.
But basically, he's the only thing you really need to know about Baji is that he has like almost mystical healing power. They're
Yeah.
not mystical, but
No.
he can find any
Medicinal,
flower.
yeah.
If you have a problem, he will cure it with a flower like that's within 10 feet of where you are now.
Well, he gets
Yeah.
introduced in the book, and the flower that he's digging up, this is what he says about it. A Hodin healer never lies. Kaibo plants cure the eyes.
That'll be important
so
later.
rare and hard to find. For the blind man, so very
I
kind.
That's gonna come
completely
back.
forgot that.
I also
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
didn't know
I
this
am
was-
just
yeah.
now realizing
Yeah.
it was all there.
the flower
Yeah.
that he's digging up is
Yep.
one that is critical.
And
Yeah,
and so I
to
know
the
what you're
story.
thinking. This scene must be about Baji. No,
No.
He actually has that right there. That little poem about a blind man is why he's in this scene.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just realized because
Yeah.
you forget he's there, and you're like, when's he gonna do something?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Well, he's important later.
Yeah.
Later, but not right now.
Because right at this
One of-
exact moment, Chip, the boy-shaped droid, pops out from behind a bush.
And like immediately they have like a quick conversation and immediately the Empire attacks and they go back to the Lost City, right?
I don't
Well, no, doesn't DJ come?
yeah, DJ comes and grabs
Oh, he
him.
takes him
Drops
back.
like a
That's
smoke
right.
bomb.
That's right. Yeah.
he shoots smoke out of his fingers.
Yeah.
So a bunch of weird shit just happens.
And
to
Luke is like totally helpless.
yeah.
Yeah, so the chip-shaped robot comes out,
Uh-huh.
and Luke says, "Why are you spying on us? Who are you?" Which it's like you and Baji you weren't even talking about
Yeah,
anything.
you've
Why
just
are you
met this guy.
Why are you spying on me and Baji the Hodin?
Yeah.
And then Chip says, "I'm not programmed to give out my name to strangers." The silver droid said, "Oh, a little bit of perspective."
Yeah.
And then Luke says, "That's just what I'd expect a spy to say."
Ooh, suspicious that
Is
Luke
it?
is.
Really? Because I think a spy would give a fake
A
name.
fake name.
It's
yeah.
just so funny that Luke, he like comes into a clearing, sees a 9-foot tall freak, and then a boy-shaped droid and a guy.
And he says,
Yeah.
"Must be a spy."
And then
Yeah,
a
it
second
could be
droid
spies,
comes
yeah.
out, shoots smoke out of his fingers, and steals everyone away.
So that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Luke is like, damn, that probably, I feel like that had something to do with my dream. And he finds the computer notebook on the ground.
That's
Oh
right.
no, Ken's computer notebook. Also, Baji's from the planet Moltok.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I forgot about that. And also something I wanted to mention is that Ken comes out of the bushes. And Luke offers to help Chip, whose boot-shaped feet, are tangled in a vine. And Luke says, "Here, let me help." Floop! With one quick stroke of his lightsaber, Luke cut the vine between Chip's feet, setting the droid free. Then Luke returned the lightsaber to his belt. At this point, Ken has not connected any of the dots.
No, not
He's
at
the
all.
biggest fan, doesn't know what Luke looks like. Sees a lightsaber and is
Yeah.
like, huh. And then it's not until, what's your name? And he says, I'm Commander Luke Skywalker. And he goes, oh my God.
I'm head of maintenance, Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. I'm chief engineer.
Yeah, I'm the security guy.
And then this is one of the things that I wanted to talk about most.
Okay.
Very briefly. Ken's mouth fell open in shock, his sparkling blue eyes gleaming with wonder. He dropped down on one knee and bowed his head as if he were a serf who expected to be knighted by a great king. No further explanation of what that means. That is the most accessible analogy for a 10-year-old. Like, everything else in this book is like a homework notebook, which had a screen, and the screen was small and
your
read
screen
homework.
turns black
This
and
is
blue.
like a serf expecting to be knighted by a great king. Moving on.
He fanboys out really hard.
He does.
And he's like, I know everything about you. Yoda was your Jedi Master, Ken said. And before you met Yoda, you learned about the Force from Obi-Wan Kenobi. And you saved your sister, Princess Leia, from Darth Vader, who was really your own father, who turned to the dark side when... Now it was Luke's mouth that fell open in shock. Who was this boy?
The stuff about Vader being his father, I feel like is not public
I don't
knowledge.
think so. Yeah,
But
I don't
also,
know.
there's no frame of reference for that at this point, so who knows?
Now it was Luke's mouth. And then this meeting of maybe the two only Jedis is interrupted by Chip.
Yeah.
This is highly irregular.
And then he just like rats him out. He's like, Ken thought you were the pilot of the Millennium Falcon. He's a stupid boy.
He rats
That's
him
weird.
out,
He's
too.
supposed to be way dumber.
It's like when someone meets you, or one of us, like a fan, and says like, "Oh, I love you." My wife hates you though; she doesn't like watching it.
Yeah.
Like, why did you tell me that?
I didn't need to know.
I mean, I don't care. It's not, whatever. We don't make wife content.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Of course.
make
Yeah, nor
content
would we.
for people with wives.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But
Dudes and lesbians.
Yep.
yeah, well, married dudes and married lesbians,
Yeah.
Yeah.
married straight dudes
As long as the spouse does not like us.
and married lesbians.
We all have a wife. We just haven't married them yet.
Come on.
I mean, some of us have.
Jacob.
Some of us have.
Come on.
Yeah,
a
we
little
have.
bit. Give me a
Both
little
sides.
sugar.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have over. But yeah, then Ken's like, oh shoot, something about the last city of the Jedi. It looks like what?
Yeah.
That's what he's looking for.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then DJ shows up and shoots smoke out of his fingers.
The smoke spread instantly.
And they're all gone except for Baji.
Yeah. And then there were two.
Yeah, he's just hanging out.
Yeah, he says, Jedi Knight, your search is in vain. Gone they are, deep into the forest of rain.
Oh my God.
Oh, then of course, what does it say on the notebook? The computer notebook that Luke finds?
Yeah, so he's like, shoot, I lost all trace of him. Then he finds the notebook and it says, this notebook belongs to Ken. Dome House 12, South Jedi Lane.
Yeah.
A
So
strong contender for best street name in this series, but it doesn't really match Slave Lord Boulevard.
Nothing ever will.
yeah, it's Slave Lord Boulevard is
South
pretty.
Jedi.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that
Yeah.
much juice.
Oh my god. This notebook belongs to Ken. Anyway, Dark Blessing time, baby. Let's move on
This is
back
maybe
to
the best-
Kadan.
the
All
best
right,
part.
cool. We're
The
in,
Null Zone.
we're in what now? Chapter 3?
Yeah, the Imperial Strike.
Oh, no,
Cruiser.
There's a chapter
4.
4.
Oh,
This is
thank
the
God.
introduction of Commodore Zuggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're arriving at the Null Zone at Space Station Scardia.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is where the prophets live.
I did
guess?
want to say this is the betrayal I referenced earlier before this. When DJ comes and shoots smoke, he says, "And you, Chip, you've broken my trust."
You don't have feeling. What do you think? It's
That's what. That's the one feeling they can
Which
have.
I think in Star Wars lore they have like. I think droids have personalities, but they're kind of like artificial. Like they don't.
And sometimes they're made from like the quirks of their programming might
Yeah.
inadvertently create these personalities.
So I think technically they're not supposed. Which obviously like that went out the window immediately. I don't know who or where that is. I just kind of remember reading that at one point.
yeah,
But like clearly
they're just people.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
see in Return of the Jedi they can be tortured.
Well, only if you have like a pain receptor.
I mean, they do
Right.
just to make them more human.
They have to install them.
Okay.
But that Gonk droid has one.
The Gonk droid does have one because he makes
That
that.
goes, anyway, so new acquisitions. Anyway,
So tell me about Scardia, Space Station Scardia.
it's shaped like a cube, right?
It's cube shaped specifically. It's another thing that is something shaped.
barge.
We think you'll fit in nicely. Anyways, we're we get to Kadan. Supreme Prophet Kadan is drinking tea made out of fungus-infested bark from Endor.
Yeah,
The
boiling
planet with
tea.
the free Ewoks?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, okay.
Right, boiling tea that would have scalded the tongue of any ordinary man.
Yeah, but not a black-bearded
This guy's
dwarf.
hard. Makes his tea hot.
And then it just immediately tells us that the prophecies are fake and that they just use their network of spies.
Yep.
Yeah, this
Which
is awesome.
I mean, cool.
Yeah.
This is
Actually, that's kind of cool.
it
I
is
like
very
that.
cool,
Yeah.
but the way they write about it is silly because it's the Empire, right? It's the
Yeah.
Sith.
Yeah.
It's like they have a slave planet still, even
Yeah.
after they've lost.
Yeah.
Or I guess Castle might be independent, but their interests align.
Yeah.
It's about playing its rights.
And then being Sith is not really a thing that everybody knows about.
Yeah, but either way, they're evil. They do
they are
evil
evil,
things,
yeah.
but Kadan and the other prophets of the dark side use their great influence to make the prophecies come true, using bribery, sabotage, and treachery, and sometimes even murder.
What?
They have destroyed planets.
Yeah, a whole planet.
And like, if it just kind of lays it out for you. If it was like written like Trioculus knew that the prophets of the dark side didn't have any mystical
Smoke and
powers.
mirrors,
Yeah,
right.
it was like they just had more spies than anyone else. Like
Smoke and hologram
yeah, but it's just
reflection
like
mirrors.
but it's just like anyways, reader, Kadan is not mystical. He has spies.
He can
Don't
be
worry.
bought.
Yeah. Don't. It's not real. It's just very, very strange. So yeah, Space Station Scardia, and they meet the prophets of the dark side, including High Prophet Jedgar, who's 7 feet tall.
Yep.
A lot of
Yep,
tall
which
people in this
Apparently, this outpost is the Imperial Bureau of Investigation, which, no, it's not. That doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense.
Yeah, yeah.
It says, for all intents and purposes, the Imperial Bureau of Investigation.
I know. It's like, what?
Wouldn't that be like a kind of more bureaucratic, like...
It's sort of like an investigative arm, not
Right,
a
yeah.
prophecy arm.
I would
it's
expect
almost-
it to be more kind of like, I don't know, like a CIA or FBI. You know,
It's like-
mostly
you would think that.
offices. Yeah.
It's like not even saying it like in the universe that it's what it is. It's like saying like it's basically the FBI.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
kids, if you're wondering what this is like, it's like the FBI.
It's a
Which
very
you know
weird
what that is.
description. It's
Kadan is a Fed.
Yeah.
yeah. It's
I guess.
so bizarre. It's a very bizarre
But
description.
he doesn't have feds. He has little birds.
Yes. So they come in here with Jedgar. They go to Kadan. Dark greetings. Slave Lord
Yes.
Trioculus
Yeah,
gets
dark
said.
greetings.
Do you want to read this Grand Moff Hissa quote through from Trioculus through gamma rays?
Oh, yeah. Trioculus, Grand Moff Hissa, I trust that your worthy vision suffered no ill effects from gamma radiation when you reached the null zone. High Prophet Jedgar inquired in a soothing voice. Jedgar always played the role of a gracious host whenever anyone arrived at Space Station Scardia.
There were no problems at all, Grand Moff Hissa replied. Our ship is properly insulated from every form of radiation, including gamma rays.
Okay, good.
Let's get a little
Thanks.
sci-fi in there, huh?
Sure,
Thanks.
whatever. They're writing it, and they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, we
What
didn't-
about the gamma rays?
We had to insulate our ship from gamma rays because we were worried we'd become Hulks.
reading the whole rest of the book, like, I hope they were okay in the null zone.
It's like, what the fuck are you talking? It's a spaceship.
They're fine.
It's shielded.
They're fine. Yeah.
Okay. So they go to Kadan. He's got chalk balls.
Yeah.
Kadan's got chalk balls. Different colored chalk
Yep.
balls.
Yeah. Well, they seem to be made of chalk.
Yeah, some kind of chalk-like substance or something. But he picks it up and he crushes it yellow because yellow is the color of a lie.
Yeah,
Because
which is
Trioculus
right.
comes for the dark blessing.
Yep.
which Trioculus whispers into Hissa's ear. He goes,
Yellow is the color of a lie. He's right there with him to coach him through it all.
Yeah, it's because he says that he's the son of Palpatine, and then he crushes the lie ball.
Yeah.
yeah, which does another prophet like supply him another yellow ball in the event
Yeah,
of another
yeah,
lie?
yeah.
This is just a fucking mess of just chalk
Got
everywhere.
shit all over.
Don't question what the dreamer of dark dreams gets up to, okay?
Yeah.
Just let him do his thing.
So this is Trioculus, who Hissa told to just play off that he's the son of the Emperor, is now telling Trioculus, Kadan knows the truth.
Yeah.
You
He's like,
can't-
oh, by
yeah.
the way.
I should have mentioned this when I said don't lie.
He also says, like, everyone who's ever lied to him has been killed. No, okay, go lie to him.
yeah. He comes so close to giving him all the info he needs.
Yeah. And this is where they talk about Triclops a little
Yeah,
bit.
This is a huge revelation.
Getting imprisoned
Yeah.
on Kessel.
Yeah.
Because he's
Worked
crazy.
like a common slave.
He's crazy, so they don't want him to be the emperor.
They worried that he'd become more powerful in the dark side
Right,
than the
and-
Emperor himself.
And
Yeah.
Trioculus saying, what's the big deal? It said a three-eyed son. I have 3 eyes,
Yeah.
but
It's the same. but one of them, his
Yeah.
eyes are not in the right place.
Where
You
were
see.
those 3 eyes?
Kadon knows that third eye is on the back of Triclops'
right.
He
head.
slowly moved his finger to the back of his
It's a
head.
bizarre line too. The Emperor had a son he rejected from the day that son was born. It's just a weird
So life begins
way
at
to write that.
birth,
Yeah.
birth, I guess. He was like, I'm gonna wait. I don't know. With his third eye, he could see his enemies from behind. So the one he rejected had the one in the back of his eye, which leads to my favorite reaction. This is one of my favorite lines in the book. Trioculus, whose 3 eyes were all at the front of his face, scowled.
His
It's
three
so
eyes at the front of
cool.
his face like an idiot.
I know.
Thank you so much for reminding us again that he
Instead
has
of
3
just
eyes.
Trioculus scowled.
I also love how mad he is. There's another line where he's Kadon's just mad. Dude, Trioculus is mad about Kadon knowing the truth, so he gnashes his teeth and squeezes both of his hands into tight fists.
Which reminded him of choking 2 people.
Yeah.
2 stormtroopers. And Grandma Pistol's like, you have to tell him the truth.
Yes. So
He'll
then-
get it. He says he'll get it.
Yeah.
Which he does, but
does.
we could have avoided some of this. Triclops, now Kadon is saying, he's accusing Trioculus of murdering Triclops because he does the red-colored chalk,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is the color of murder.
blood.
And then Trioculus, who has killed in these books, says, "You're accusing me of being a murderer."
Uh-oh.
You are a murderer.
Yeah, you
but-
are a murderer. I mean,
mean,
we've watched you kill a couple
yeah.
Grand Moffs.
Yeah. So
And you all but murdered Captain.
Captain
Dunwell?
Dunwell?
Yeah.
Well, didn't he kill an Aqualish too?
Yes, he
Oh,
did.
that's
Those
right.
stupid,
Dumb idiot.
Dumber than any
Those
alien.
ugly teeth having sons of bitches.
Yes, he explains the whole thing to Kadon. And
they have a sit down.
yeah, it's just like, you have the glove. That's fine.
Right.
That's fine. That's good enough. Shows him the glove. And then, he gets a silver ball of chalk out.
Yeah. Wow.
What
Yeah,
could that
so
mean?
this is after the Kadon is like, I'll accept you. Yeah, it makes
Yeah,
sense.
he gets it.
Yeah.
You're down.
Yeah.
You can be the guy.
Yeah.
Then he picks it up.
yeah.
There was another prophecy about the one who wears the glove. Kadon stopped himself mid-sentence and fell silent.
Neville Longbottom will end your reign.
Yep.
Silver is the symbol of a Jedi Prince. There is a Jedi Prince from the lost city of the Jedi who can destroy you.
Okay.
It's so stupid.
And then Trioculus
Also,
is like, that's not real.
Yeah.
also, they're talking about having a legal right to Palpatine's throne. By whose
I know.
legality?
Who
Like,
cares?
what
None of these
judge?
people care.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
if
it-
the Supreme Prophet, it's on the record that these Imperials actually don't respect the Force at all and think it's
No.
stupid and an old
Not at
religion
all.
or whatever. Like
and
they
like,
don't care about any of this.
there's prophecies, but there's like I guess a legal system at work that designates like a law of succession.
Yeah.
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 But it's like little Carmine.
Uh huh.
The dumb one.
Yeah, right. It's just like why would they all just bend the knee? It's like,
Yeah.
well, Don said so.
Then Kadon just tells him where the city is.
Yeah,
like, "So just
the
go
lost
there."
city is they already know where
Yeah,
it is.
listen, they go into the jungle. There's a green marble wall. There's a tubular transport inside. And then Trioculus says, not only shall I destroy the Jedi Prince, but as ruler of the Empire, I shall rid the galaxy of Luke Skywalker and the
Okay.
entire Rebel Alliance.
No one will ever repair a minor issue aboard a space station ever again.
But then he has a stabbing pain in the center of his head.
That's where his
Everything-
third eye is.
Everything became blurry and dim. Emperor Trioculus could only see dull blobs of light, shadows, and streaks of gray, and nothing more.
He
And
goes
then-
blind in like a second.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
the
Just
chapter
suddenly
ends.
goes blind.
And the
yeah.
chapter ends,
Yeah.
and then it's back to Trioculus again.
He can still see blobs of light, so I guess you would say he's legally blind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Under
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
legal authority that I guess.
Yep.
And then, they back to Trioculus. They're like, where the hell's the lost city of the Jedi? How do we find it? We have to ask Spin.
Yeah, well, so the chapter ends,
Yes.
and then it immediately resumes with exactly that next moment in the next chapter.
Yes.
The chapter ends like he's blind, and then chapter 5 starts. Trioculus remains still, blinking his 3 eyes. So he's pretending he can see, and it says he acted as if nothing happened.
Well,
It
I
was a
think-
perfect act.
I mean, if you're blind, I imagine you still blink, right? If you have your eyes.
Yeah, but also he's
wouldn't
like,
it still
all
like
right,
be irritated?
gonna be going
Yeah.
around.
Are you
this
okay?
way."
I can see everything fine.
He
Yeah.
didn't tell anyone, not even
Perfect act.
MD.
Yeah.
Oh, an MD
yeah.
would know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they talk about that, and then it just goes right back to Luke and Han.
Yeah. Well, I like that he's facing
Han
like
and
the
Leia.
wall.
Well,
and
they
he's
say like we have to go. We're gonna give Spin an ultimatum.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
he's
So do
just
what?
kinda
I
like,
don't know.
I have an incredible plan. A warning
Yeah.
so terrible they won't be able to ignore it. Boom. Yavin 4, a few days later.
Yeah. Also, this paragraph is weird because it says a few days later on Yavin 4, where the next meeting of Spin was about to take place, Princess Leia and Han Solo were already seated in the conference room, waiting for Luke Skywalker. Han was so enjoying seeing Leia again that he'd put off his return to Bespin with Chewbacca.
Oh,
It's
boy,
like
yeah.
it has to refer to them all as their full names in case we forgot.
Really playing the hits. And they also told us again what Spin stood for, right?
I think so. Yeah.
In the previous
Senate
chapters.
Planetary Intelligence Network.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it.
Just can't forget that.
Nope.
And then all of a sudden,
They're like, Luke's acting crazy.
kachoing, brachum.
Oh, don't forget the E-I-E-I.
Well, that's the alarm, right?
Yeah. And then
Do
there's
they have a watch?
ka-choing.
Did
I don't
they
think they have
have a
any
WADD?
wads. They don't have any
So
wads.
I feel
in
like
Spin.
this would have helped.
I know.
Luke took the only one they had to go install in Han's house.
Yeah.
He just ripped it out and got in his Y-Wing.
What do they throw down there? It's like
a probe droid, a black
but it's like a
Imperial
ball,
device,
right? It's just like a
It's like the training device. is
Yeah,
what I
Yeah.
picture.
but black and evil.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it flies down the chimney of Spin,
Mm-hmm.
and just they're trying to shoot it, but they can't.
Yeah, they keep
can't
missing.
hit it.
Spin's defenses are incredibly easily breached.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
is. It's like Trioculus is like, I have an incredible plan. I'll throw a baseball through the roof while they're
Yeah.
having a meeting.
It's like also a probe device because Trioculus and Hissa are watching from the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
And who does
like a drone.
Trioculus see
Yeah,
for
it's
the
got
first
it's got
time?
a camera in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't. No.
Uh,
Luke?
Leia.
Trioculus
Leia.
lays his
Oh!
eyes.
He says that
His
face.
three eyes.
Yeah.
That
on
woman.
Leia.
And wait,
He is
Isn't he
horny
blind?
for her. Yes,
I
he's
think
blind.
his sight like kind of came back a little bit.
Either
but
way.
he hasn't seen Baji the Hodane healer yet.
Not yet. I
Nope.
think like
He's blind.
I think the pain was like
Maybe
and
it's
blindness
a-
were temporary, and he
Maybe.
can still kind of see again.
Oh.
So he sees Leia, who he doesn't know anything about because Hissa's like Darth Vader blew up her home planet of Alderaan.
Yep.
He's like, I
No
think,
idea
I
who
think
she
I
is.
remember that.
Yeah.
He knows Luke Skywalker by name. Well, I guess they've met, but yeah. No idea who she is.
Trioculus says she has a striking face, strong features, but soft. Not at all unattractive, considering that she's a Rebel Alliance woman with only 2 eyes.
Only two
There's
eyes.
like 2 guys with 3 eyes in the galaxy. What do you do?
You can't have the such high standards,
Yeah.
Trioculus.
Does he look at like Gran, like Mahonic with their 3 eyes? And he's like,
Maybe.
Well, listen, people say he's almost handsome.
This is like
Or
the
is
short guy
now.
that I.
that's
I
3PO's
He's
opinion.
he thinks she's almost attractive.
Yeah.
It's like the short guy I cleaned the meat department with who would call every woman ugly and had a Mentat license plate.
so cool.
Meanwhile, he's shaped like I don't know, I guess like a basketball with a dimple
basketball.
on top
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
head and like
Basketball shaped meat department.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, but Hissa tells him that she killed Jabba, and Trioculus is like, I never liked Jabba the Hutt.
Yep.
A disgusting fat slug and a common gangster.
Why do you know him?
But not Leia.
But not Princess
You
Leia of
probably
Alderaan.
you don't know who Jabba
Well,
is.
I feel like as a preeminent slave owner on Castle,
guess
he
so.
might,
Yeah,
he
he
might know
might
the,
actually.
It's
the
a
Hutt.
rivalry
Yeah,
thing.
They're
yeah.
probably at like the same auctions.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably bidding
Yeah.
against each
He
other.
always
Yeah.
gets the slaves I want.
Damn, I really wanted that slave.
Okay, so the thing flies down their chimney, and he projects a hologram of himself,
Yeah.
Right.
Starts broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Tell me where the lost city of the Jedi is." And everyone's like, "What?"
Or
Yeah.
I'll blow you up. That's
Yep.
the whole plan.
That is not a
Blow
good
you
plan.
I have an
'cause
incredible plan
boom.
to get rid of Luke Skywalker.
if you're blown up, they can't tell you where it is. This is the worst plan. Doesn't make any sense.
By remote control, Trioculus deactivated the hologram projector
Wow.
inside the device. Far away
No shit.
away in space, he was still able to watch the scene inside the spin conference room. It's like leaving your phone with the recording app on.
And also his
behind the
hologram
room.
is like, "I will blow you up in 10 seconds. 1,
Yep.
2, 3."
Commodore Zuggs, activate the heat mechanism in the anti-security device. It will require 10 seconds to reach detonation temperature.
There was one part where he kind of talked like Trump for a little bit, and I really liked it. He goes, Sorry to disappoint you. I've just sent you a little gift. It's penetrated your weak security system.
Yeah.
Weak security
The
system.
glove of Darth Vader is melting my face, but I don't care. I'll still keep wearing that garbage.
That Princess Leia, not unattractive.
Soft
Yeah.
but hard features.
Luke slices the probe in two, ka-chunk, and
Yeah.
then Trioculus is like, proceed to plan number 2.
Yeah.
As you would a child.
Wait a minute. The sky over the rainforest turned deep purple.
Dang,
But the
dang,
beautiful
dang,
sky was the last
dang,
thing.
dang, dang.
Smoke from DJ 88's fingers. Yeah, they land with enough TNTs to carry out his plan number 2.
And that ain't explosions.
No,
that ain't
it is not.
explosives. That's treaded neutron torches.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say, this is like, from the people that brought us vapor toothbrush and nano wave stove, this is probably the best they do.
They tried to do a Star Wars.
They tried. They
Yeah,
did.
it doesn't sound like
they
a-
made
yeah.
something original. It's
Yeah.
the best they could manage, but it's still so fucking stupid.
Because it's
Treaded
this
neutron
Treaded
torch.
neutron
It's
torch doesn't make any
TNT, the
sense.
same as the thing in real life.
I know, yeah.
It doesn't.
Like AT-AT. It doesn't exist.
TNT.
But shoots fireballs. It's like a
No, it doesn't shoot
They're
fireballs.
Oh, sorry,
it shoots
neutron.
Neutron fireballs.
That's right.
So they send those in. They just start setting the forest on
It,
Which later
fire.
one of
it
these-
specifies that it shoots them without harming the stormtroopers inside.
Yeah.
No shit.
That would be
It's like a,
an
a
incredible
suicide tank.
Like kills everyone driving.
But it is important to note that one of these almost kills Trioculus.
Yeah.
Immediately, it also comes down the ramp and gets blown up.
They're just firing indiscriminately on the biggest continent.
Of which there are
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
There are 4
There's
continents.
four,
And they just see the big one and go, "Oh, fire!"
But they're tanks.
It's
like
his
you think it would
summer.
take them a while to cover it.
Right.
And this is how they find the entrance to the lost city, is just by burning down the
Yeah.
the
Which I mean,
forest.
that
So,
works.
yeah, I mean, I think that sounds good.
Yeah. So like, where he comes down the ramp and then a fireball blows him up.
Yeah, instantly. Like there's no
It completely
his
blinds
own
him.
guy. Yeah.
He like gets blown up and then he's like, "Fuck, I can't see."
Yep.
Oh God!
And then MD has to drag him back onto the ship.
Yeah. It's
And then he says, "Figure
like
out what's
no one coordinated. The Emperor is going down, and no
gets
one's like, "Oh, don't
blinded.
fire at that in that area." Maybe.
Yeah, but
I know
he's-
you have a whole continent to work with,
He
but
leaves the ship and gets blinded by a fireball.
Yeah.
And the glove of Darth Vader. of
luckily
course.
though,
We've just
Luckily.
yeah, Grand Moff Hissa has this handled. We just received a report from a team of stormtroopers. Near one of the jungle pyramids, they spotted an alien, a Hodin, to be precise. Almost all Hodin know how to work medical miracles using plants and herbs. They're a race of healers, Your Excellency.
oh, that's great. That's convenient. He also like threatens everyone he wants to help.
Yeah, he
Like,
threatens MD and
His
Hodin.
droid, he's like, "I'm gonna turn you into scrap metal if you don't diagnose my eyes."
A droid who will do anything
And then
you say.
Yeah, and then same with Hodin. He's like, "If you don't heal me right fucking now."
I'll
Yeah.
make you blind so you can feel what I feel.
You shall figure out how to restore my sight, or I shall have him blinded as well, so he
cool.
too can share my fate.
Yep,
He
there we go.
says to Hissa, I guess.
Yep.
Hodin!
Yeah, then what the heck happens next? This is the part where I was like kind of checking out.
Yeah,
reading
Ken-
this.
Yeah, so the computer notebook that Luke found,
Yeah.
I guess he picked up and went 12 South Jedi Lane and then put it back on the ground.
He doesn't use the
Yeah.
address.
He doesn't. This is what you're like, this computer notebook is going to be important. And it's like, oh, it has the address. That's how he finds he drops, I guess he goes, huh. And then
Throws it
finds,
over his
finds out
shoulder.
that there's a U pipe leaking at spin.
Yeah.
They forgot to install P-traps in all the six.
So this is where chapter 6, A Healer's Secret,
Yep.
Ken meets Baji. And Baji says he found the computer notebook. Find it I did. In my hut it is hid. Come there with me and your notebook you shall see.
It's like, don't go with weird aliens who have snake
Don't-
hair.
Don't go with 9-foot green guys.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Especially if they're like, yeah, I make drugs.
Yeah.
I make my own drugs.
Do you want to get in a Ken hole?
So like Baji's upset about the fire because it's going to destroy his hut. The weapons of the Empire did cause this big fire. So now the end is near.
Ken
for
had
a
never.
forest so
That's the
dear.
one that you're talking about, right? It's like a different kind of rhyme scheme
No,
than
there's
all the others. Or...
one coming up. I highlighted it.
Oh, okay.
But like he does the same rhyme scheme except for one.
That's so
time.
funny. Which is like, it's his whole thing. It's the
Yeah.
whole thing. You can't stick to that.
Yeah.
Also, the writers are making sure, just like the Whalodons, to shoehorn an environmental message.
Yep.
Ken had never seen a forest fire before, except in holograms and pictures in the Jedi library. His heart skipped a beat as he watched in horror. So much beauty was being destroyed in the fiery orange glow, which, of course, the glow is fiery. It's fire.
Right. And orange.
Yeah,
I mean,
just say destroyed in the blaze, in the fire,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
we
orange
got it.
glow.
Yeah.
The fire. Okay.
You want to use as many words as possible, though, because that's how you get your page count up.
Yeah.
In this
Especially with-
book where absolutely nothing happens.
Yeah. Well,
I know
that's
we've
how
been
they-
talking about, like, yeah, we've been talking for an hour and a half about how about all the things that happen in this book, but, like, really, the plot, what happens in this book that is necessary. Ken leaves home and meets Luke,
Yep.
and a kind of Trioculus is blinded.
He gets, goes blind.
We find out later that the spoilers, I guess, for 2 minutes from now when we talk about this. The glove is like severely damaging Triclops.
Yeah. Great
Yeah.
job,
Wearing
MD.
it.
You made
Yeah.
a glove that is
Yeah.
busted.
Yeah, and it's not because of like some dark force
Magic
power.
or
It's
anything.
because of the shit MD put in it to make him be able to. Like,
Just some, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like the Iron Man like thing. It's like it's killing you, but it's also powers your suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, it's totally unnecessary, and you could just wear a fake glove, which I think he does
Yeah.
at the end of
They
this.
do that. Yeah. It's totally.
Yeah.
It looks exactly the same. Though.
So the only thing that happens here, I'm just gonna blast us through this chapter because very little happens. Baji gets captured by stormtroopers. His 2 hearts are pounding.
Yeah, he's got 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
like it's like talking about a Klingon.
yeah, they
Yeah.
get the hands of him on him.
Green blood. Like
Don't
a
Time
Green
Lords
blood.
have 2 hearts?
Time Lords.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah,
man.
okay.
I don't know.
All right.
They have a scarf.
Let's
They
see.
do sometimes.
Baji can tell that Trioculus is blind.
Yep.
Trioculus threatens him, of course. Let's see.
Then he does the longest poem
Oh,
where he tells him what's happening. Since Darth Vader's glove you now do wear, blind you are, and next goes your hair. Take off the glove, or there is no doubt your teeth and nails shall all fall out. Your hands will rot, your face will welt. Loud you shall scream, as in terror you melt.
oh yeah. This is the one that's a different
Oh
format.
yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
the like rot. Your shall all fall out. Your hands will rot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
also
really weird.
starts-
It's like, yeah, because blind. Wait,
It starts with the glove you wear brings blindness and gloom. Remove it now, for it seals your doom.
and then it kind of goes back, right? It's
Says-
very
Yeah, and then Trioculus
He-
says,
he-
"This
he-
glove has doomed many men." Hodin.
Yeah,
should have your eyes plucked
Trioculus
out.
says, "Yeah, dumbass. It's the glove of Darth Vader."
Also, no, it hasn't. It hasn't doomed anyone.
It's a piece of clothing.
It was
Yeah.
Darth Vader's glove. He died, and now it's your glove. Who
Yeah.
else did it doom?
Now it has things inside it that kill you.
Darth
Yeah.
Vader doomed
I mean,
people by
you-
killing them
And you killed some people with it, but
and without it.
and without it.
Remember the lightning?
Yeah,
implant?
in his other glove.
Oh yeah, so after this poem, MD pops up and he's like, "Master, the Hodin makes a medical point. The devices I inserted into the glove's fingertips so that you could send out deadly sound waves might possibly be the cause of your side effects."
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
To which Trioculus has a pretty reserved response. Says, "Go on, MD, continue."
He just threatened.
That's
He just
interesting.
threatened to have him taken apart for scrap if
Yeah.
he diagnosed it, and then he does diagnose it, and he's like, "It's my fault."
Yeah.
Oopsies, and he's like, "Very well, okay."
Say,
understood."
speak on that. Say
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
The sonic charges in the device are probably causing damage to your nerve endings, affecting the optic nerves in your eyes.
Says, oh. I had
And
no
then
idea.
Grandma Pisses says, "Perhaps you should consider taking off the glove."
To which,
Yeah.
as a reader, I was like, "Oh, that lies part of his downfall is that he's too addicted to the no." He does. He says,
Next
"Okay,
sentence.
He's like,
Next
"All
sentence,
right."
Yeah.
shit, I didn't even think about that."
And
Yeah,
his
he does it right away.
His hand is messed up, red,
Yeah.
blistered, and withered.
Yep.
His skin was rotting. It was straight up
Yeah, he's
rotting.
rotting.
Which he put in dog whistles. Their ultrasonic
I know,
device.
I
What is
know.
it doing? Melting his bones?
How is it blinding him and melting his hand?
and then like,
Just give him a gun.
so Hiss tells him to take the glove off. He does. And then Hiss is like, "Your Excellency, the Hodin healer has brought back your eyesight."
No, he didn't. You just took the glove off and you're immediately okay.
Hissa forgot.
Yeah.
What happened 2
Whoa!
seconds ago.
Maybe Hiss is just trying to save this healer. He's like, this guy's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, but the
Let's-
blindness. It's going to come back because eat the seeds of the purple flower, or your sight shall lose its power. To be
Right.
fully cured, you must feed for 100 days upon the kibo seed.
And he just takes the seeds and eats them.
Yeah.
Like this could have been poison,
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the guy whose home they threatened.
and it works immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, your medicine is impressive. I now see better than ever. Tell me, where can I get enough kibo seeds to eat them for 100 days?
And he goes like, also, I mean, okay, I know we're talking about a kid's book. Why would this one seed just these are biologically vastly different creatures, I assume. Like,
But he's a
it
Hogan
just
healer.
works for everyone. If anyone is blind and eats these seeds, they get their eyesight back.
I guess so.
Doesn't matter if
Works
you're
on
like
everybody,
a-
every race. That's why they're so special.
Yeah.
But then he's like, where do I get more of these seeds? And
Yeah, this is my
Baji's
favorite
like,
Oh, no,
interaction
there's a
in the
fire.
book.
yeah, in my hut I have seeds in store, enough for all your needs and more.
Yeah.
But my hut soon shall burn. Tell me, why does the Empire never learn? Uh-oh.
Little
Falcon's like,
sass.
oh shit, we're burning down the forest.
Yeah.
There's a previous one that I wanted to. He says, where can I get these? He says, kibo flowers so very rare will soon be found nowhere. For the flames that you have spread shall soon make all kibo plants dead. Trioculus turns to hiss and says, what's he saying?
What is he saying?
I can't follow all of this Hodin's rhyming.
It's really clear.
If I understand him correctly, the kibo flower is very rare, nearly extinct.
You do.
He's like, what, tell me, poet, what do you speak of?
Yeah, there's this. You have to eat their seeds for 100 days, or go on, then what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he gets blown up by another stormtrooper.
Yep.
It happens again.
It's just like he yells at him too. He's like, "Stop!" And the guy can't hear him because they don't have,
He runs out of the vehicle towards Baji's hut and gets blown up by a stormtrooper.
Suddenly, one of the dozen TNTs came roaring through the forest on its fast-moving treads, firing its neutron torches. No, stop! Trioculus shouted as it aimed its
I
front
command
gun
you!
right. Do they not have windows?
They couldn't hear the Emperor.
They fired again, and Baji's dry thatch hut started crackling as it burned.
Yeah, and then he runs inside.
To save
So
the
good.
kibo plants and seeds, but as he clutched them in his hands and tried to escape the hut, the doorway was blocked by a wall of flame.
Yep.
No!
And we're not going to really find out more about that until the end,
Yeah.
which we're pretty close to.
Yeah, thank
It ends
goodness.
like Total Recall. It's like the same fucking ending.
It is, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
god. So like basically the Rebel Alliance is like, we gotta put out all these fires. This is the climax, by the way.
Yeah.
And Han says, I should be putting the finishing touches on my sky house right now.
Shut up about the
Instead
fucking
of
sky
stuck
house.
piloting
Up
the
about your
Falcon
condo.
on another crazy mission for the Alliance. He's just like bitching and
Yeah.
complaining.
And here come more Y-Wings.
More Y-Wings!
Why are they so like, do you think they watched the trilogy and they were like, why
Yeah.
is the X-Wing getting so much love?
Maybe.
Yeah, but
What
these
about the
Y-Wings,
humble Y-Wing?
they show up to kill. They show up to blow up Trioculus and all
Yeah.
the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
So the Millennium Falcon flies around.
Well, we learned that the
Looking for what?
rainforest is essential to the ecology, which, well, yeah, but like it's
Of
essential
course.
to the environment.
Yeah.
That there won't be an environment if the
Yeah.
rainforest burns.
Yeah,
This one
because that is the
rainforest does.
environment.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, yeah, it is, yeah.
So the Y-Wings
It's not
are
like they're
blowing
killing
up.
one type of beetle. They're burning down the continent.
You're right, yeah.
I would
Yeah.
think that it does
yeah.
have some
Yeah, yeah.
effect.
No, it definitely would.
But the
If climate change were real.
yeah, we want to establish that.
Yeah, let's
here.
get out in front of that.
But the
Fancy.
TNTs managed to make the Millennium Falcon crash into the jungle. The worst landing of Han's career.
Yeah, that's right.
Which his career is going to be called into question again.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
To which Chewie moans, "A rogue."
Oh.
And then he says, "Tough break, Chewie."
Mm-hmm.
The Falcon's in trouble. And then Luke says,
Okay.
do you figure the Falcon will ever be able to make the trip again from here to the
Oh,
Bespin
yeah.
system in 18 standard time parts?
So they just dropped the other.
Yeah, they don't say parsecs in,
Yeah.
this series.
Yeah.
Oh, right. No, yeah, okay.
Because he did it in
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
12
Yeah.
standard
Time
time
parts.
parts. Yeah.
There's some stormtroopers. Oh no, it's DJ actually.
Oh, yeah.
He fires
DJ.
upon DJ without
Yeah.
even a second's thought.
Ken pops up. He's got his computer notebook.
Yeah, I guess he's just been wandering the jungle the whole book.
His name is DJ, and he's from the Lost City of the Jedi. And Han says, "It's a droid named what? From where?"
Yeah.
Then this oafish.
He starts speaking Huttese.
I liked this part. Commander Skywalker, DJ said, "You see what a disobedient boy I have here."
The rainforest is
Punish
on
him,
fire.
Tell me, Commander Skywalker, what would you have me do to him?
Yeah, and Ken said, I had to find my computer notebook. I didn't know there'd be a fire and TNTs and stormtroopers.
I didn't know what a TNT is.
Read it. Read it.
Ken suddenly glances at Han. He recognized him from the pictures he'd seen in the Jedi library. Wow, you're Han Solo, right? He then looked over at the Wookiee. And you're Chewbacca.
Growth.
Chewie said, confirming that Ken had gotten his name right.
Oh, so cool.
Well, not only that, but he recognizes Han as one of the best Corellian pilots.
Yeah, in the whole galaxy.
But hang on. Because there is somebody.
There's somebody else.
There is somebody that
I
might
know.
consider to be better.
Right, 'cause
Han says, what do
yeah.
you mean one of? You know anybody better?
Well, Snoke Larone made the trip from here to the Bespin system in 15 standard time parts. So, Snoke Larone.
Snoke.
Snoke.
Snoke. This book is this Snoke's namesake?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it turns out like Snoke died or something.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
in
yeah.
the Battle of Endor.
Yeah.
Go
Han
lose.
rolled his eyes in amazement. Okay, I'll admit I'm impressed, but Snoke Larone got wiped out. We're
Wiped
talking
out.
about living Corellian pilot.
yeah, he's dead, so it doesn't count.
Yep.
Snoke Larone is dead.
Corellian pilot. It's also just like
Snoke.
Larone.
So I guess Snoke Larone died. He was a rebel pilot.
Right. Well, he is introduced and killed in the matter of
Yeah.
lines.
well,
Sentences.
okay, so they get to like the elevator. They're just at the top of the elevator, and the only reason this was of note to me is Han says, "My Corellian buddies will never believe this." What?
All his buddies. Who's he talking about? Thraken Sal Solo?
Sure, yeah. I guess they. Does he just get together with the boys for poker night?
I guess.
I guess so.
Well, I mean, anything but settling down with
I
Leia,
guess.
who is at the top
Yeah,
of his
Yeah.
list.
yeah.
So this is just when they're at the green marble wall. It's not like it's anything crazy.
Right.
My
They're just a
Corellian buddies
wall.
will never believe
I know,
this.
they're
they
just
will.
talking. It's
Yes,
re-
they will.
A
You
whole
were frozen.
wall?
You have way crazier stories
Yeah.
than this.
Made of green marble?
Yeah.
So they get taken
Not
down.
a moon-sized planet destroyer.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah. Or a second one.
So
Let's just make it jade.
Luke and Han, they go down the tubular transport.
It's green
It
marble.
makes him a little sick, but
Yeah.
it's fine. It's
It's
not
going
really a big
so
deal.
fast.
You might
and
find
so
this
deep.
ride a bit disagreeable.
But so you're probably you're thinking like, damn, there's a whole forest fire and they're just going underground. Well, hang on, because they control the weather.
Yeah, the weather and
Oh.
climate command centers down there.
I
Oh.
forgot.
I was like blasting through the end of this book, just like
Yeah.
wanting it to be over so bad.
Yeah.
But I did highlight some
Yeah.
things, and one of them was the Weather and Climate Command Center, which controls all of the weather on Yavin 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those of you who live on the surface of Yavin 4 think the weather of this moon is the work of nature. Wrong-o, bozos. Yeah, the climate, and also this hasn't really been covered before, but the Lost City is not just 3 droids and a boy.
Oh,
like
it's
a ton of
It's
droids.
a city of droids.
There's
Yeah,
a picture where it's just like there's droids walking down the streets.
they have no
Yeah.
feelings.
And stuff.
though.
Nope. Yeah.
Cold
Nope.
place.
I
They
guess
just-
they just maintain the
city?
weather
Yeah.
or something.
Well, the moon is on a cycle, a 6-month dry season followed
Yeah.
by a 6-month rainy season.
Yeah, yeah.
The rainy season is due to start in several weeks. But if we could discover the code to speed up the weather cycle, we could start the rainy season now.
Yeah, why don't
Yeah.
they have the code?
Hmm.
No.
Oh wait, never mind. I've searched nearly every file in the Jedi library, but I just can't seem to find it.
That Luke
He
talks
just
about
doesn't
his-
know the. They just can't find
They
it.
just
They don't,
it's,
no one
it's
told
on
them.
autopilot. so
Yeah.
sure hope this never it's like the Pentagon systems that run off of floppy disks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like I hope this keeps working.
Maybe it's like an ancient, because it was built like ancient Jedi masters, the Lost City of the
think,
Jedi. Maybe
yeah.
they didn't have the tech. But I guess they did because there's a
Maybe.
code.
Yeah, there is a code.
Yeah.
Jedi Force
Yeah.
with some numbers in between.
Oh,
So Luke, okay, so this is a whole thing. Luke tries real hard. He took a deep breath and then exhaled.
Yeah, you can't remember it.
Let all
for a
his
while.
thoughts flow out out with his breath. Then, as he inhaled, he felt the power of the Force pouring into him, filling him with energy and power.
Luke
Suddenly,
getting
it
filled
was
again.
there. JE99DI88FOR00CE. I remember the code, Luke exclaimed.
Obi-Wan didn't tell me what it was for, but I sure hope it activates the weather cycle.
He told me everything else.
Everything else.
Yeah, but not what it was
Do
for.
that next slide.
Luke punched in the code, and it worked. Yeah, so it rains.
It rains, it puts the fire out.
and then, so Trioculus, Grand Moff Hissa, and MD made their way back to what was left of the Imperial base
yes.
camp. And this
Oh
is
my
one of my
God.
favorite
Yeah.
things. Reluctantly, Baji accompanied them. To his sorrow, with a blaster pointed at his head, he was drafted into the Imperial army to become a staff physician.
Bye-bye.
He's not kidnapped. He's drafted
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the Imperial army at
But we'll see him
gunpoint.
more later.
I can't wait.
But as they surveyed the scene of the destruction, Trioculus clutched his jar of Kibo seeds and touched his withered right hand to his face. It was no longer the same handsome three-eyed face he'd had before. In Trioculus's rush to get the Kibo seeds from Baji's hut, his face had been horribly burned.
Yep.
Now his face was covered with welts and blisters, and his skin was scorched.
I love that when last we saw our hero, Trioculus, a wall of fire was in the doorway. And if the chapter had continued, the next line would have been, Trioculus went through the doorway anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he burned his face off.
Yeah, he no longer has a face.
And in the art, from here on out, he looks like shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's fucked up.
Then, so they save the day. It rains. We go back. Trioculus, Hissa, and MD get in their ship. The rebels destroy every single ship but theirs.
Yep, they miss one.
They miss
Oh,
one.
shoot.
And then Trioculus is like, okay, I'm not going to wear the glove anymore, but I'm going to keep it and make me a replica so that people think I still wear it. And also, we got to kill every rebel for what they did.
Right.
But hang on. Not every rebel.
Not
There's
everyone.
one we want to save, and it's that sweet piece ass Leia.
Hot damn. We'll take Princess Leia
Yep.
alive, Trioculus replied firmly.
Yeah. Dreamed of making her his queen. The queen of the empire.
Yeah, well, read that whole paragraph.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
With his face painfully burned and his right hand crippled and withered, Trioculus escaped into a dream of the beautiful Princess Leia. He could see her striking face, her strong but soft features, and he dreamed of making her his queen. The queen of the empire.
Da, 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 da.
I mean, it would be a powerful union to unite Spin and the Council of Grand
Yeah.
Moffs.
Yeah.
And then Ken leaves the Lost City. That's it.
Yep, bye-bye.
The droids let him leave.
I don't know if I have anything else.
He just goes with Luke,
highlighted.
right?
I do not. It goes straight into the glossary after that.
Yep.
Oh, he did also vow. He said, "Spin must be destroyed for this attack that we started." Is basically what he says.
Yeah.
Like they destroyed our ships after we burned down their forest, and for that they must pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really... I mean, honestly, he's the most consistent character, probably.
I guess.
Just because of how all over the place he is.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't believe I did this. They need to pay for the thing I did. And like, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you don't help me. The guy's like, I did this to you. He's like, all right,
that's fine.
tight.
That's all right.
Very
He is.
well, MD.
He's
Yeah.
completely insane.
Yeah.
Oh, we
well,
did
I
have some. We had some party
first
words from.
thought of what a Triclops is like.
Oh, well, maybe we'll find out someday. But Ken, he's departing. It also says from now on, Luke would give Ken guidance and instruction in the ways of the Force. It was Ken's destiny. But his parting words to his friends.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss all you droids, Ken said. He thought about what he just said and realized that he would probably even miss HC-100 every once in a while.
Even you
Aw.
fucking asshole.
And I'll miss the Jedi Library and my dome house. And
Yep.
I'll certainly miss you, Zebo. Life won't be the same not having a Muka to wake me up every morning.
It ends like a sitcom episode. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Zebo.
His adventures with the Alliance have just begun.
Wow.
Wow. And the Alliance is
Powerful
started
stuff.
by brave men, women, and aliens?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, and also it's not the Alliance, it's just the government now.
Yeah.
But
Right. But also Spin.
Yeah, but also Spin.
Yeah,
They
so
never
maybe
referred to
there's-
it as the New
May-
Republic.
maybe it's like in the new movies where like the Republic exists, but then
There's a
Leia's in
resistance
charge
for
of,
some
like-
reason.
Yeah,
There are two things
like a
of note.
spin-off thing.
Yeah.
That
sort of like
happen in
Section
this
31
book.
too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The only things that happen is it introduces Ken, and by extension, Microchip, the boy-shaped
Yeah.
robot.
So here's a picture of him bowing before Luke. There's Baji.
Baji looks sick.
He's crazy looking. He's
Looks like
fucking
he plays
huge.
for the Globetrotters.
David Bowie. Yeah.
Spin this ball upon my finger.
Oh, it's a computer notebook.
Oh, it looks like a Pokédex.
I actually,
wow, yeah.
I had a notebook and I drew the address into it
Oh,
to look like
cool.
this.
It is so funny to me that the address has no bearing at all.
No.
No, yeah.
It's like they
addresses,
forgot.
Yeah.
I can't wait to look through all these images.
Yeah, I'll make sure to have them all. There's all the prophets of the dark side because these books are filled with pictures. The chalk.
Can I
chalk
see
balls.
burnt Trioculus?
Oh yeah. Let me find a picture. There's him gazing at Princess Leia on a monitor.
So horny. So fucking horny.
This is like, what are you looking at? Let me find fucked up Trioculus because it's really
It's funny
funny.
because once we finished the run through, I have no takeaways from this book.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
Nope.
Introduces
Everything that
Ken,
happens.
makes Trioculus, whatever, ugly.
All of this could have happened in the first few pages
Of
like,
the next book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we saw the house. We saw Han's house.
And
I
that
guess
house
so.
is gonna keep coming
Oh,
back.
yeah, that house is. You think? No, we're gonna see a lot more of that house.
I added a space for a
worry.
third cloud car.
Yeah, so that's what Trioculus looks like now.
Oh God,
It's a horrible, lumpy, burnt
he?
face.
pockmarked.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ravaged by
Is that the
flames.
thing in the background?
Can I see?
I don't know what that is. But
What the hell?
This is from a later book. We can't look at it too
All
much.
right. Okay.
But
Speaking of
listen,
later books,
Yes, so that is The Lost City of the Jedi, the book where nothing happens except
Yeah.
a fire.
it's awful.
Yeah.
This one's rough to get through.
It's really boring.
Trioculus is killed almost by his own men twice,
Yeah.
and then Baji gets
It
a
might be the
promotion.
funniest book.
It is
It's
really
very-
funny.
The idea of them losing all these stormtroopers onto the planet, just like
And then having the dodge. Oh fuck!
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! It's me,
stop
your
fucking
emperor!
shooting.
But this is the calm before the storm because
Yeah.
the next book is Zorba the Hutt's Revenge.
The whole reason we're really doing this whole series, I would say,
for the
'cause
third book.
it's the only one I remember anything from.
Yeah, same. I probably
this-
read it the most.
For some reason, this book had such a profound impact on me as a child. Zorba the Hutt's Revenge. That I actually like remember not a lot, but details from it, which
Sure.
is really impressive for someone with my brain.
Which I'm pretty sure we also get introduced to a hot droid. In this one.
Oh yes,
What's her?
Droid?
I'm trying to remember her name.
Yeah, there's
What
a
does her
sexy
mouth look
droid.
like?
It's like
the same.
Kate. It's like Kate or something. It's
Yeah.
like KT.
but yeah, no, I remember. The only reason I remember the Sky House and stuff
There's Zorba.
Yeah.
Shaking his fist.
is because of Zorba the Hutt's Revenge, and the idea for this podcast. I mean, it predates Astrogoblin.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
We talked about this like during Rooster Teeth stuff,
Yeah.
I think, and
talked about it much.
it's really all thanks to just Zorba the Hutt's Revenge.
I mean, we
that
talked about Zorba the Hutt's Revenge on What a Show. We
Yeah.
read
Yeah,
through some
that
of Orion's
picture,
books.
the one
I
with
don't
the-
rem- oh, with
the
Kristen
Photoshop.
Bell.
Kristen
Yeah.
Bell. Yeah.
The strangest.
Yeah.
The strangest.
Yes. So we're gonna get into that. That's gonna be our next book.
I thought it was the fourth one, so it was a really nice treat to find out that it was next.
Yeah, but
The
that means
palate
there's
cleanser.
But I
gonna be
also
a
couldn't
slog
start
after
it
that.
until we had recorded this because otherwise it would overwrite the Lost
Oh,
City
yeah.
of the Jedi.
Exactly. So we're gonna go in fresh with that one.
Shouts out Zorba's next week.
Yes, so that's the next one. And if you're a Patreon member, if you're $5 and up, you can listen to us do dramatic readings of these entire books if you want to follow along. Great for the commute. It'll be over before you get there, probably.
Yeah.
I also am looking at Paul David's Wikipedia. His most recent work was a documentary called Jesus in India, the movie.
Okay.
Oh, that's
so
intriguing.
we'll probably that'll be our next series.
Yeah, almost
Yeah.
surely.
Yeah.
That'll still be Galactic Book Club as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, any closing thoughts on the Lost City of the Jedi?
None.
Yeah.
Zero.
Honestly, my only thought would be skip it. If you want to read along, well, listen to us read it, of
Yeah,
course.
let's read it.
But yeah, I think if you are reading along with us, just go ahead and skip this one. There's no need to read it.
Yeah, it just book 3, right? Trioculus,
Yeah.
who's ugly and in love with Leia now.
Yeah.
Luke,
His face
who's got
government.
a buddy.
Which, if we know anything about these books, they will explain all of it again in the next one.
Don't you
So
worry.
You don't have to. Yeah.
They've condensed all this entire book into a paragraph at the start of the next one.
Yep. Well, we'll see you then, and keep it tuned to Astrogoblin. Okay, I guess. Just another reminder, you can listen to a dramatic reading of the book, also for patrons.
We just said that.
I'm just repeating it again.
Oh, okay.
Always two there are.
I got a bad feeling about this.